Game number 2 of the new year and another chance for both teams to pick up their first win of 2025 here on a January night in Amherst, Massachusetts, where the hardwood at the Mullins Center gleams under these arena lights. Two teams with very different paths are set for collision. It's the Dayton Flyers soaring high with an 11-4 record coming to Amherst as contenders in the Atlantic 10. Meanwhile, the UMass Minutemen, who have been battered but unbowed, at 5-10, stand ready to defend their home court, searching for redemption in their first victory of the conference slate in their swan song in the Atlantic 10. Welcome into our broadcast here on 91.1 WMUA. I'm Andrew Samaha. Joined alongside me is my partner, John Gigian, and we are here live at the always beautiful Jack Lehman Court at the Mullins Center in Amherst for a bout between Dayton and UMass for the final time in the regular season as conference opponents. Dayton leads the all-time series between these two teams at 15-10 and have taken the last 8 matchups between each other. John, what can the Minutemen do today to get back into the win column versus Dayton and also snap the 3-game losing streak they're on right now?
Well, it's no secret. Dayton's definitely the favorite in this game. But for UMass, we've seen some positives of this team throughout the year. They've played very well against Arizona State. They've looked good for a lot of the game against St. Joe's. Got off to a good start against Richmond. They've had moments here where they've looked good. It's been about collectively putting it together. Frank Martin, as you said, this is a new team. We're still working on a lot of things. And as we hope we can play hard today and get the win.
And as for Dayton, they are coming off of a rough 20-point loss in their first road game of the season on Saturday afternoon versus George Washington. As a team with national tournament aspirations, what can they do to get back on track here on the road in their second road game of the year?
I mean, Dayton's a really good team. They've beaten teams like UConn, Marquette, Northwestern, teams that have NCAA tournament aspirations. They can compete with anyone. For them, it's going to be just playing their brand of basketball and getting back to it.
For UMass this year, they've leaned heavily on their senior leader, Rasul Diggins, who has recently gotten out of a bad shooting funk he was in and has found himself getting back on track, John.
Well, he's been in UMass's best moments this year. He's been their best player that UNH is going to begin the year. When they were competing with Arizona State, he was the guy who was leading that charge. So if he can play well, stretch the floor tonight, get those tough buckets, can open the floor for everyone else and give UMass a chance.
And for the Flyers, it's been their senior leader, Nate Santos. What can you tell us about him?
He's been huge for them. He's like that big physical guy, can get downhill, score on bigs, but he's also a really productive shooter, can stretch the floor, over 40% from 3. He was a preseason All-A-10 first-team guy for a reason, and he's going to be the go-to guy for Dayton tonight.
Well, we've got an exciting matchup ahead of us with two teams looking to bounce back in different ways. Here at Jack Lehman Court, it's the Flyers, it's the Minutemen, and it's all right here on 91.1 WMUA. So we are just moments away from tip-off. Take a look at the starting lineups for both sides. For Dayton, they're going with just about the same 5 they've rocked out there just about every game so far. Javon Bennett and Nate Santos. Man in the guards along with Enoch Cheeks, Malachi Smith, and Zed Key. And as for UMass, Daniel Hicken-Sanford will stay on the bench coming off of his hand injury. They'll roll with Jalen Curry and Rasul Diggins at the guards. On the wing, it'll be Jaden Jingay and Daniel Rivera. And manning the 5 in low, the big man from Egypt, Malik Abdel-Gawad. UMass is in their home whites with red Massachusetts draped over the front of their red numbers. As for Dayton, they're in their road navy blues with white names and what looks to be black numbers and lettering with Flyers draped in white going across the front of their chests. UMass will be going from left to right, from our point of view, right to left if you're watching on TV, as Dayton will be going from right to left. Malik Abdel-Gawad set to take the tip-off alongside Zed Key as we are just moments away from getting started.
For the Minutemen here, this is a game you're playing with house money, realistically. No one really expects you to win this game. Whereas Dayton, they kind of got expectations, a little bit of pressure after losing that last game. So for them, UMass here, if you can put some pressure on them, there could be some cracks that show. So gotta be aggressive all the way through.
Dayton is led by head coach Anthony Grant in his 8th season at Dayton, 17th season of college basketball. He's got 1 tournament appearance with Dayton, should be 2, where they had an incredible season in the A-10 back in 2019-2020, where the season ended up getting canceled. The NCAA tournament got canceled because of COVID, but they were the A-10 champions. Had an incredible record that year at 29-2.
Beat the Minutemen here at the Mullins Center that year. So
8 straight wins for Dayton against UMass. So we are set to tip off. Abdel-Gawad and Key meeting at the Power U. And the ref pump faking them a little bit, having them back off. But Abdel-Gawad wins the opening tip. And Jalen Curry will cross the power U at the point. He hands off to Diggins on the right wing, over to Rivera, top of the key, swings it around to Jingay on the left wing. Jingay looks to get it inside to Abdelgawad. Abdelgawad cross-court pass to Rasul Diggins from the corner for three, no good. And Zed Key pulls in the rebound for Dayton.
Good look there, though, from Abdelgawad.
And quickly the other way, Malachi Smith finds Nate Santos for a quick two to get Dayton up 2-0. And a risky pass by Curry, pulled in by Diggins. And they're going to call a foul on Javon Bennett as Diggins hits the deck.
Can't begin to be in transition. That has to be an area where UMass can. That's been one of their few strengths this year. If they're getting beat there, it's going to be a long night.
There's been a lot of times this year where Frank Martin has emphasized getting back on defense. And in situations like that, transition defense has been a point of emphasis that they need to improve on this year, as well as the center position between Abdelgawad and Shahid Muhammad, as Diggins gets the ball off the inbound on the left wing over to Rivera in the corner. Backing down Santos, draws the double team, gets it inside to Abdelgawad. Abdelgawad goes up and finishes over Malachi Smith to tie us up at 2.
Abdelgawad, he does have a little bit of a height advantage over. He got a couple inches on anyone else in the Dayton starting lineup. That could be something to keep an eye on throughout the game.
Abdelgawad scoreless their last time out versus Richmond. And a nice steal by Daniel Rivera, reading that pass beautifully. Hands off to Diggins. Diggins gives it back to Rivera. Rivera driving and finishes with some contact, and UMass up 4-2, just about a minute into this game.
That's going to be how UMass is going to win this game. Dayton's probably going to have the advantage in the half court, but can UMass manufacture those points off turnovers, get steals, get transition? That's how they've been successful this year when they have.
Nate Santos has it right wing over to Javon Bennett. Bennett looking to get it to Smith, but Rasul Diggins draped all over him, and Bennett driving towards the hoop, draws a blocking foul call on Jalen Curry. Both ways early on, both number zeros at the guard with a foul each.
Good energy so far from UMass, though, overall. Coming out a little bit of energy. When you're the underdog, you have to play with energy, so I'd like to see that so far.
Malachi Smith gets the inbound from Cheeks, swings it around to Santos. Santos handoff to Bennett on the left wing, gets the screen from Zed Key, driving into the hole, goes right at Abdelgawad and finishes with the right hand. A beautiful finish by Javon Bennett to tie us up at 4. Curry's got it off the inbound. Light press by Dayton, but not much showing there because Curry kicks it out to Rivera, top of the key. He'll pull a three off the front iron, no good. Jaden Jingay comes up with the rebound. Hands off to Diggins on the right wing, swings it around to the left wing for Curry. Evades a screen from Abdelgawad, but hands off to him at the free throw line, and Abdelgawad drives to the hoop. Has it poked loose. Looked like it went off of his leg, but it will stay with UMass on the out of bounds. With 7 seconds on the shot clock, 17:57 on the game clock. Curry will inbound from the baseline. UMass going 4 wide across the paint as Curry gets it into Diggins in the corner. Diggins has 5 to shoot. Takes a turnaround jumper, no good. Jaden Jingay pokes it out to Abdelgawad for the offensive rebound, who swings it around to Curry for 3. His shot way off and out of bounds. Good golly, Jalen Curry. Wide open look, fails to convert.
Definitely, UMass has gone to some good looks here. You've seen Abdelgawad. He's had a few nice cross-court passes to get some open threes. They just haven't been going so far. That's something UMass is going to have to hit those. They're getting that good of looks.
Nate Santos has it right wing with Rivera all over him. Hands off to Cheeks. Cheeks has got Jingay draped all over him. Passes it back to Santos. Santos driving on Rivera, and they're going to call a foul on Rivera on the drive. Will be on the floor. That's UMass's second foul of the half.
That's his first, team second.
Santos will inbound out of bounds. Tied at 4, 17-27. Left to play here in the first half. Still very early on. Enoch Cheeks, top of the key, swings it over to Malachi Smith. Cheeks thought about shooting that one at the top of the key. Does not. As Smith's pass is tipped by Rivera, but Zed Key comes away with it. He drives right at Abdelgawad, puts up a floater right over him, and puts it in. 6-4 Dayton. Diggins the other way quickly drives right at Zed Key and draws the foul, so Diggins will head to the free throw line.
UMass so far. It's kind of been the story of UMass. Haven't been able to hit threes, so gotta see if they can get downhill. Good draw by Diggins there to get to the rim, draw foul.
Well, Rasul Diggins this year has taken a majority of his shots from beyond the three-point arc. These last few games, the stretch he's had has been incredible as he knocks down the first free throw to make it 6-5. He's played incredible in these last few games, and it's been in part to the fact that he's been driving to the hoop more and not just settling for shots from outside.
That's a big part of it. We always knew. We knew Rasul was a better shooter than he was showing. I mean, the last 3 games, 24 points, 50% from the field, 43.5% from three.
And his free throw rattles around, sat at the front of the rim, thought it might fall out, but it falls right in, and we're tied at 6.
Speaking on Diggins again, for a lot of players, it's kind of about they have the momentum, they have the talent. It's a mental thing for a lot of these guys. But these are still young kids you have to keep in mind. So it's kind of the mental aspect of it. I think now that he got out of it, he can have a really strong finish to the season for UMass.
Dayton was trying to be aggressive the other way. Malachi Smith's pass was kicked by Rasul Diggins. So kickball violation. They will inbound from underneath with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Quick catch and shoot by Javon Bennett. His shot no good. Offensive rebound, though, for Dayton. Swinging it back around. Javon Bennett from the same spot once again buries the 3 this time.
That was a problem for UMass in the St. Joe's game a couple games ago, just giving up a ton of offensive rebounds. Same with Richmond. They have to clean that up a little bit.
Jalen Curry, trying to go quickly the other way. Gets a screen from Abdelgawad, swings it to the left wing for Jingay. Back around to Curry, top of the key. Over to Jingay inside, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Abdelgawad. Just knocks Nate Santos to the ground. Not a foul you want if you're Frank Martin.
That's his first. Team's third.
9-6, early 3-point Dayton lead. With 16:32 left in the first half. These two teams playing each other for what could be the last time if they were not to meet in the A10 tournament this year as conference opponents, as UMass going through their final stretch of the A10 this year before they head to the MAC. Dayton's got it left wing. Enoch Cheeks feeds it into Zed Key, who's working on Rivera, and he travels with it. So UMass will gain possession. Rivera wanted to go fast. The ref not allowing him to. But Diggins will inbound. Dayton getting into a full court press. Diggins' inbound comes into Abdelgawad at the free throw line, and some miscommunication between Abdelgawad and Curry as that pass goes out of bounds. And Dayton will gain possession on the press.
That's one where you don't have to rush that one. I think you still had around 10 seconds on the clock. I think you had 10 seconds on the clock there, so.
It looked like Abdelgawad was a little bum-fuzzled that time, along with Jalen Curry, as Curry wanted to go one way with it, and Abdelgawad kicked it the other way and right out of bounds. Dayton will gain possession right about the power U with Malachi Smith. Over to Enoch Cheeks, deep on the left wing. Jaden Jingay pokes the pass free, gets on the ground, pokes it around. Daniel Rivera comes up away with it on the left block on Dayton's side of the floor. Kicks it over to Curry. Curry, nice pass in the air over to Jingay on the wing. He'll pull a 3 on the pass from Diggins. No good, and rebounded by Javon Bennett.
Couldn't finish with the shot. That's vintage and Gigian right there, just making those hustle plays.
And Nate Santos, a beautiful job coming up the floor, pulling the 3 right over Abdelgawad. And he's got himself a 3, and Dayton's up 12-6 now.
And like we said in pregame, that's Nate Santos for you. He can drive to the rim on you, beat you that way, and he can also pull up. Well, it was a really smooth 3 right there for Dayton.
Beautiful 3, a stroke that Michelangelo would be very proud of. As Dayton finds themselves up by 6 here in the media timeout zone. Just about 15 minutes left to play. Nice pass from Abdelgawad over to Jingay from one block to the other. And Jingay puts in the layup.
I've been really impressed with Abdelgawad finding the open man so far. He's a few times, he hasn't always led to a basket, but he's finding good looks for UMass so far. Something they have to look through throughout the game.
Santos has it on the left wing, tries to hand off to Javon Bennett, and Jalen Curry gets caught with his hands in the cookie jar, picks up his second personal foul early on. As that'll take us to the under-16 media timeout. 14:54 left to play here in the first half. Dayton holding a lead over UMass 12-8 here on 91.1 WMUA. We'll take a short break and be right back. Welcome back to this broadcast of UMass basketball, which is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, the Small Town Tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday at 9:30. You can find them online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. And while it might not be an air blimp flying through the sky, we do appreciate the support from the Mill River Tavern this season. UMass trailing 12-8 early on here, as Dayton will get the ball out of this timeout. Jalen Curry just picked up his second foul of the game early on, so likely he will be headed to the bench. As we come out of this under 16 media timeout, the UMass 5 will be Daniel Rivera, Jaden Jinge, Shahid Muhammad, Russell Diggins, and Marquis Worthy. As for Dayton, it's Javon Bennett, Enoch Cheeks, Amael Latong, Nate Santos, and Posh Alexander checking into the game for the first time. And Alexander receives the inbound.
Alexander's a guy you got to watch for defensively. He led the Big East in steals the last 4 years at St. John's and then last year at Butler. So on the defensive end for Dayton, you got to keep an eye out for him.
Latong's going to pull a three from the top of the key, contested by Muhammad. No good. Daniel Rivera pulls in the rebound. Almost walks with it, but saves himself. As Rivera will cross half court, hands off to Russell Diggins. And gets the screen from Rivera. Top of the key over to Rivera, hands right back to Diggins. Diggins to the corner for Worthy. Worthy thought about a three, drives instead, uses his body against Alexander, but misses the bunny. And Latong pulls in the rebound for Dayton.
Few makeable shots that UMass hasn't been able to hit so far. Those are going to have to start falling at a high degree if they're going to pull an upset here.
And a deep two by Javon Bennett off the front rim and in. And Dayton finds themselves up by 6 now.
Might be short, but he's certainly not afraid. 7 points so far for him.
Diggins working on him, hands off to Rivera, who gives right back to him at the top of the key. Diggins working to his left, pulls it back out over to the wing for Rivera on the right wing. Back to Diggins, top of the key. Two-man game between these two, as Diggins will settle for a step-back three at the top of the key. No good, and Latong pulls in the rebound and kicks it off to Cheeks. Cheeks working on Jinge. That's an offensive foul. He shoved Jaden Jinge right off of him. So Cheeks picks up his first of the game, and Nate Garangamba will check into the game for UMass for the first time, along with Daniel Hankins-Sanford, as Jaden Jinge and Daniel Rivera will head to the bench for UMass.
Hankins-Sanford hasn't quite gone back to the level he was producing at pre-injury, but definitely will be huge for UMass if he can get back to that.
Daniel Hankins-Sanford missed 4 games with a broken finger on his right hand. This is his 3rd game back into the lineup now for UMass. Played against St. Joe's and Richmond off the bench. Struggled a bit in both of those games. Hoping to get him back on track as Diggins drives right at Latong, and Latong swats it away, as Dayton will go the other way quickly with Bennett. Bennett over to Cheeks on the left wing. Pump fakes, kicks it over to Bennett. Back to the top of the key for Cheeks. Latong on the right elbow. Hands off to Santos. Santos working to his right. Deep two, no good. And Marquis Worthy with a strong rebound. Gets it ahead to Diggins. Diggins to Hankins-Sanford driving in. He's got Posh Alexander on him, but feeds off to Marquis Worthy, who has his shot. They're not going to say it got deflected at all.
I think he just lost it.
Lost it on his way up over the backboard. And Dayton will regain possession as Malachi Smith checks back into the game along with Jaun Simon. Malachi Smith coming up the floor. Working on Diggins, gets the screen from Simon. Over to Latong. Simon thought about a deep three from Boston, decides not to do it. But a nice job working the ball around into Simon in the paint, who draws the foul. So Simon will head to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Starting to get away from UMass here a little bit. Dayton's starting to get a little separation, but we'll log back in now for the Minutemen.
Like you just said, UMass, 1 for their last 8 for the floor. And a scoring drought of just over 2.5 minutes now in this game. They find themselves down by 6 with 12:32 to play in the first half, as Simon's first free throw is good. 15-8 now. As Frank Martin's got to be on the sideline saying bollocks to himself, hoping his team can fight their way back into this after a slow start. But the second free throw by Simon's no good, and Daniel Hankin-Sanford pulls in the rebound. And Diggins will come the other way. Hands to Gigian over to Worthy. Worthy hands off to Diggins on the left wing. Diggins to the corner for Worthy. Worthy driving in. Goes up and over the defender and finishes with a beautiful move by Marky Worthy in the paint.
Love the comment he's playing with lately. First last year and the beginning of this year, he did not look good. People were questioning him being here, but he's very much turned it on lately.
Simon working on Gigian. Swings it back around to the top, though. Will reset with Posh Alexander. Guarded by Marky Worthy on the South Shore. And Cape Cod swings it over to Nate Santos on the left wing for a deep three. No good. And Latong with a nice rebound over Muhammad and a finish by Latong. And that's what Frank Martin's been saying all the time is centers have to rebound better. As Shaheed Muhammad just got bullied by Latong on that one.
We're going to get some Doumbia minutes here, Frank, right after that offensive rebound.
Yeah, Amadou Doumbia, a freshman who doesn't really play too much, at the scores table ready to check in, is another nice bucket by Marky Worthy. Step back jumper from about the block. And Nate Santos fouled the other way. And he will head to the line to shoot too. So Daniel Hankin-Sanford just picked up his second personal foul, but it's 17-10 or 17-12, excuse me, early on here as we will head to the under 12 media timeout. We'll keep it here for now. Early on, Dayton's really been the aggressor so far, John.
I mean, definitely. We know that coming in UMass, though, you have to be the team who does that dirty work stuff. You're not going to be able to outshoot this Dayton team. It is what it is. You have to be the team that gets the offensive rebounds, forces turnovers. Right now, UMass, Dayton does have one more turnover. The rebounding battle right now, it's 8-5 Dayton in the rebound battle. That can't happen. UMass has to be able to beat them there, especially since Dayton doesn't really have too much of a size advantage in this matchup with Latong. He's given them some UMass some trouble, but overall, other than him, even before that, Dayton was kind of winning the rebounding battle. That's something UMass has to be able to take advantage of.
I briefly mentioned it before, but just in about every single post-game presser that I have attended from Frank Martin, he has preached about the poor play from his centers and that he needs to get something out of them at some point, and that's just completely been a dead spot for them. They're not rebounding. They're not really doing much scoring. So we're going to see Amadou Doumbia, the freshman from Bamako, Mali, come into the game here out of the timeout. He was a top 25 center recruit nationally. He was the number 4 overall recruit in the state of Connecticut. Played for Real Madrid's U18 team and represented Mali at the FIBA U18 European Championships. He's given UMass some good minutes off the bench in late game situations when the games have been out of reach, averaging just about 2.5 points a game in the 4 games he's played. And if you were to go by his per 40 minutes, which that's saying if you were to be playing 40 minutes a game, you would be leading UMass in scoring given the minutes that he could potentially play. And those numbers are 32 points a game per 40 minutes. So very small sample early in his career, but very nice from Amadou Doumbia, what he's shown in the offensive game off the bench to start his career. As for Dayton early on here, they started the game 7 for 11 from the floor, 2 for 5 from beyond the arc. As UMass just 5 of 13 and 0 for 4 from behind the three-point line. This is what we've seen from them all season. Not the best three-point shooting team.
I mean, yeah, that's why you have to win those little things. Like you were mentioning earlier, Frank Martin, the hallmark of Frank Martin teams over the years have been just being able to play through the paint, play hard, hustle. Like, obviously, you're losing guys like Rushmore last year hurt, but you got to be able to do those little things, those hustle things. Those are the things Frank Martin won't stand for, his team not doing. And that's going to, you have to be able to win those smaller detailed things. Those things that aren't going to show up in the stat sheet. It's not going to be on ESPN. That's how you're going to win this game today.
Well, Nate Santos will head to the free throw line coming out of the timeout here. 11:24 to play. Dayton up 17-12. Hankin-Sanford just picked up his second personal foul, so him and Curry with an early 2 fouls for UMass, both on the bench. As Rivera checks back in for Hankin-Sanford out of the timeout. Santos is at the line. His first free throw off the front rim and in. Dayton now up by 6, and Santos up to 6 points.
Santos is a guy who just, he is that kind of X factor that you have to imagine. I'm not sure UMass has, just that like all-conference type of player. So that's a huge checkpoint that UMass is going to find a way to stop him.
Santos hits the second free throw, and he will head to the bench after that. So a good 8.5 minutes there from Nate Santos, already 7 points. as Worthy will bring the ball across the floor for UMass alongside Garangamba, Diggins, Rivera, and the freshman Amadou Doumbia, who we just mentioned. Garangamba's got it on the left wing, hands off to Rivera. Rivera looking to get it inside to Doumbia. He does. Doumbia on the right block, going to work on Latong. He goes up with it and can't get the layup to fall. And Simon comes away with the rebound for Dayton.
Doumbia, he never looked super comfortable on that shot. Definitely just a freshman. Still got some things to work on there in terms of like positioning.
It looked like he wanted to show something in his early minutes there. Just didn't put up the most quality of shot. As Latong working on him, kicks it out to Posh Alexander. Right wing for three. He buries it. And Dayton up 22-12 now, running all over the Minutemen early on.
Latong has definitely been a difference maker for Dayton. You can just see he's bigger than anyone else in this game. He's got a few inches on any player that gets rotation minutes for either team.
Amael Latong, the freshman center from France, stands at 7'1", as UMass turns the ball over here. And another three from Dayton. No good from Cheeks that time, and Rivera pulls in the defensive rebound. Quickly ahead to Garangamba, and Rivera overshoots Garangamba that time as an early Josh Allen would in his NFL career, overthrowing a lot of guys. Another UMass turnover as Akil Watson will check into the game for Daniel Rivera.
UMass is definitely struggling right now. They're just kind of spiraling. You're seeing like Doumbia kind of trying to force some stuff. On both teams, everyone trying to kind of force things. You have to kind of just settle down right now and get back to playing the game. Because I think UMass not looking great right now.
Malachi Smith has it right wing, gets the screen from Zed Key. Over to Simon, who swings it over to a wide open Enoch Cheeks on the left wing for three, no good. And Marquis Worthy the rebound. They're trying to go quick. Worthy up to Garangamba on the left wing, and they will pull it back out. As Worthy's got it top of the key, hands to Diggins on the right wing.
Diggins still looking for his first field goal.
Diggins gives to Watson, but Watson right back. Diggins will force up a three from the right wing and buries it.
Needed that.
22-15 with 9:25 left to play in the first half. UMass down by 7. Diggins with his first three of the game. 1 for 5 from the floor now overall. As Posh Alexander's got it the other way. Gives it over to Malachi Smith. Gets the screen from Key. Nice feed inside to Key. Key gets Diggins in the air and a vicious block by Amadou Doumbia from behind as the trailer comes up with the rebound as well and gets it up to Diggins.
There's the upside of Doumbia right there. You can definitely see good at the good size. Hopefully you can get more of that for UMass.
And it'll be a stop of play here as a foul away from the ball called on Posh Alexander of Dayton. I didn't quite see what happened there, but the refs stopped play. They call the foul, and Daniel Rivera checks back in for UMass for Nate Garangamba. Worthy will inbound from the baseline with 20 seconds on the shot clock, 8:57 on the game clock, as Worthy gives a long pass to Diggins. Diggins over to Akil Watson on the right wing. Watson hands off to Daniel Rivera. Rivera working on Enoch Cheeks, gets into the lane, forces up a shot over Cheeks. His layup no good, and a good steal by Zed Key to allow the defensive rebound for Dayton. It's quickly the other way. Posh Alexander over to Santos. Nice block from behind by Daniel Rivera off the glass, and Razul Diggins comes away with it. Diggins quickly the other way into some contact, puts it up and in. Razul Diggins with the and one.
Like I said in pregame, Razul Diggins, that's going to be the key. UMass's best moments this year, it's been when he's been productive. You saw UMass struggling, he had a field goal, hits a couple in a row to get UMass back in the game here.
And a block similar to that block by James in the big NBA Finals between the Cavs and Warriors on one end, off the glass, and then Diggins the other way, flexing his muscles in the paint on Santos. Puts up the and one. Now he's up to 7 points, and UMass trailing 22-17 with 8:27 left in the first half as Diggins looks to convert the and one. His free throw is good, so he's up to 8, and he will get a much-deserved breather as Jaden Jingay checks in for him, as well as Abdelgawad coming back in for the freshman Doumbia.
No Curry or Diggins in the game right now for UMass, both with 2 fouls. Interesting to see where they're going to get their offense from.
As Malachi Smith will bring it up the floor for Dayton. Santos has it right around the power U, pounded by Akil Watson, who hands off to Malachi Smith. He's guarded by Jingay on the right wing, gets the screen from Zed Key, draws the double team in the corner, feeds it into Key. Nice pass, and Zed Key throws one down in the lane. Dayton back up to a 6-point lead, 24-18.
Zedkey, a really efficient player, shooting around 61.6% from the field for Dayton this season.
Marquis Worthy working on the smaller Javon Bennett, drives right at him, draws the foul, and Marquis Worthy will head to the free throw line to shoot 2. On the other side of the media timeout, as Javon Bennett picks up his second personal foul. We will take the timeout here with 7:50 left to play. UMass trailing Dayton 24-18 here in Amherst, Massachusetts on 91.1 WMUA Sports. Welcome back to this broadcast of UMass basketball, which is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not too far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, this small town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30, and you can find them online at millrivertavern.com or on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their kind support. We've been to the Mill River Tavern a few times, got some pizza. You ever put any pickles on your pizza ever, John?
I have not. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, me neither. I never have done it either. Anyways, Dayton up 24-18 with 7:50 left to play here in the first half. As we're almost out of the media timeout here, John, what have you seen from both sides early on? UMass is trying to claw their way back into this game, but Dayton hold them off.
Well, UMass so far, we say coming in, you're not going to win the 3-point battle. It is what it is. We kind of know that at this point. So how are you going to win? You have to win the turnover battle. You got to win the rebound battle. Right now, Dayton's winning the rebound battle, 10-9. Right now, they're winning the turnover battle. One less than UMass. It's 5-4 UMass than that. So UMass right now, they're down 6. They've done a good job getting the rim a little bit recently. Marquis Worthy is giving them some good minutes. Diggins is getting going again. You got to be able to take care of the ball. You got to be able to get those hustle plays. So far, they're not winning that, and they're losing the game, and that's kind of the key so far.
Well, Marquis Worthy's at the free throw line to shoot 2. He's got 4 points and 2 boards early on in the game off the bench. He hits the first free throw, so put him at 5 now as UMass trails 24-19, down by 5. Marquis Worthy, the sophomore from Anaheim, California, played in 24 games a season ago. Struggled offensively from the floor, but has really started to turn it around in his second season as of late as he knocks down both free throws, and he's up to 6 points.
He's going to be big for UMass here with Diggins and Curry in foul trouble, so good to see him producing so far.
Malachi Smith bringing it up for Dayton. Up by 4 over to Zedkey, top of the key, covered by Abdelgawad. Off to Malachi Smith. Driving on Marquis Worthy, poked away by Abdelgawad. Zedkey comes away with the loose change, and he's fouled and will head to the free throw line for 2.
Good effort there from UMass. Definitely made things tough for Dayton, but just pick up a foul there. But that's the energy they're going to need if they're going to come back in the game.
Well, Gil Watson gets whistled for the foul there. So Zedkey, the transfer from Ohio State, will head to the free throw line. Spent 4 years at Ohio State. Played in 121 games, 895 career points there. Coming out of high school, was a max prep All-American. Averaging 11.5 points to go with 4.5 rebounds this season. That's center for Dayton. Knocks down the first free throw, and Rasul Diggins checking back in for Marquis Worthy. 25-20. Zedkey knocked down the first free throw, his second. No good off the right side of the rim and out. Abdelgawad, with the rebound. And Diggins coming the other way. Diggins hands off to Jingay. Jingay to Rivera. Rivera, with full head of steam, charges right into the paint. And an offensive foul called on Rivera as he lowered the shoulder into Nate Santos. So Rivera picking up his second personal foul, and he's now the third Minuteman with 2 fouls to go along with Curry and Hankin Sanford.
Late call there was probably the right call. I think he extended that left arm a little bit, but
both sides were looking for the whistle, which way they would go with it, if they would give it to Dayton or to UMass, but they whistle it on Rivera. So Malachi Smith will come the other way for Dayton. Zed Key's got it, top of the key. Looking for somewhere to go with it, hands off to Smith. Smith covered by Diggins, and they're going to call a foul on Abdelgawad for pushing Zed Key, who was trying to set a screen for Smith. So Abdelgawad picks up his second personal foul, so make it 4 UMass players here in the first half. There's still 7 minutes left to go with 2 fouls, and Amadou Doumbia will check into the game for UMass. As Dayton's made their way into the bonus, so that's their 9th foul on UMass. And Zed Key will shoot a 1-and-1 at the line.
Productive minutes for Zed Key. He's kind of been all over the court for Dayton. And their team, they run deep. They get production from a lot of different guys, so not just one guy. Santos is obviously the lead guy, but a few guys UMass has to keep an eye on.
Well, Zed Key misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Akil Watson fighting for the rebound. Pulls it down and gets it over to Rasul Diggins. He crosses the power U. He shouts out some instructions from Frank Martin. Gets it off to Akil Watson over to Rivera on the left wing. Rivera driving hard to the rim against Santos and draws the second foul on Nate Santos. So Rivera will head to the free throw line.
Good take that from Rivera. He's tried to be aggressive the last few possessions. Got that one to foul the possession before, but good drive there. He's able to draw a foul.
Daniel Rivera, the transfer from Bryant, has been incredible for UMass as of late this season. And in their game against Richmond last time out at 10 points and 6 boards as he misses the first free throw there. And that's been his problem along with UMass's problem so far this year. The missed free throws. He shoots just 55% from the line coming into today. UMass finds themselves in the bottom 20 in the country in free throw shooting as Rivera hits the second free throw.
Shooting has kind of been the issue for UMass all year. They're also the 4th worst three-point shooting team in the country at 26.9%. So,
and it's crazy to say that they're bottom 30 in the country in free throw shooting, yet they've improved as of late. At one point, they found themselves bottom 3 as Dayton turns the ball over, passes it out of bounds. And UMass will gain possession down 25-21 with 6:20 left in the first half. Dayton will get into their full court press as the ball comes into Diggins.
Well, in terms of the shooting, there's always going to be some regression to the mean. You have guys like Rasul Diggins who are good shooters, who are starting to figure things out a little bit, but naturally not a great shooting team, and steal there.
And a sloppy turnover from UMass. Jaden Jingay looking to kick it off to Watson, who started driving to the paint, and Jingay just passed it right to Posh Alexander, who breaks away for a steal and a layup. So 27-21, Dayton now up by 6.
A couple subs coming in for Frank after that one. He did not like that.
As Diggins has it, top of the key, gets the screen from Doumbia. Thought about a step-back 3, will drive to the paint instead. Nice bounce pass into Rivera. Rivera's finish is good. Nice play drawn up there. A nice pass by Diggins into Rivera. It's quickly the other way. Dayton will pull a 3. Malachi Smith, no good. And a fight for the foul. A loose ball foul will be called on Doumbia as Zed Key hits the deck. UMass faithful here in attendance. Not loving the call.
It's going to be 2 shots, too. The double bonus now.
5:34 left to play in the first half, and Dayton's made their way into the double bonus. So Zed Key will head to the free throw line. As I said, the UMass fans here in attendance, they've showed up today. As of recently, there haven't been too many fans, as it's been a struggle for them. Just 5-10 on the season. Zed Key's first free throw is good to make it 28-23. Last time I think we saw this many fans in attendance is when the brothers of Sigma Chi and Alpha Gamma and all the other fraternities that came into attendance showed up on fraternity night. As Dayton will always draw a crowd wherever they go, potential NCAA tournament team. As Zed Key knocks down both free throws and will head to the bench with his 7 points, and Letong will check in for him.
Mentioned a tournament team. A10 could have a few tournament teams this year. The top of the conference, a little deeper than it's been in the past. Potentially, if Dayton doesn't win the conference, you could see 2 to 3 get in the tournament from the A10, which call back to the old days, back in the mid-2000s. And
a good press put on there by Dayton. UMass crossing half court with just 1 second to spare. As Rivera hands to Diggins. They've got 15 on the shot clock as they will start their offense. Diggins handing off to Worthy on the right wing. Over to Rivera on the left wing. Rivera calling for anything. Over to Worthy. 5 to shoot. Diggins, top of the key. Throws up a grenade. His shot off the front rim. No good. And Malachi Smith the rebound. Smith driving. Tries to kick it over to Enoch Cheeks, who I'm not sure what happened there. Went into the air with the ball to kick it and just passed it straight into the ground in front of him and out of bounds. And Dayton not paying attention. UMass inbounding it. Did not capitalize as they will slow things up. Diggins over to Rivera. Top of the key to Worthy on the right wing. Back to Diggins, top of the key. He's running the point now with Jalen Curry on the bench. Gamba left wing has it poked away by Cheeks and out of bounds, but it will stay with UMass. As the Dayton bench clamoring for that to be called off of Gamba.
Might have been a case. I think he kind of hit it right at the end before it went out, but yeah, UMass, take all the breaks you can get when you're playing a team like Dayton.
As Gamba left wing, quickly off the inbound, 6 to shoot. Nice drive to the hoop by Nate Gamba, finishing through contact on the left side.
Freshman struggled a little bit of late. Good to see him have a nice drive right there.
29-25 as a nice feed in to Latong. He's fouled on the way up, so he will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. That foul's on Gamba, so that's his first.
Latong's definitely made a difference so far when he's been at his size. He's just by far the biggest player out in the court right now. His height and weight, he definitely is a guy you need. He gives him a little bit of a mismatch. I think he's a guy who we might see get some more minutes here in the second half.
Amael Latong, the freshman 7'1" center from France. His first free throw off the back rim, no good. He played for the French U18 national team back in the 2023 European Championships, where they finished in 4th place. He's coming off of a game against GW where Dayton struggled, did not score, but had 4 rebounds in that one. So he's definitely had an impact early on in this game. 2 points, 3 boards, and an assist with just 6 minutes. And Latong's second free throw is good as Rivera and I can't tell who that is on Dayton, Simon and Rivera both hit the deck. Simon going right over the back of Rivera on the rebound attempt. So they whistle the foul on Simon. They will count the free throw, and Simon just picks up a foul.
Good coming to play here. You never know. Dayton a couple fouls away from the double bonus, so.
Yeah, UMass.
It'll be free throws, I think, yeah.
Yeah, UMass will head to the free throw line. Daniel Rivera going for a 1-and-1 here as they trail 30-25 with 4:26 left in the first half. We mentioned Daniel Rivera struggles from the free throw line, 1 for 2 today. He's put in a nice performance for UMass as the refs will head to the scores table to check for any kind of flagrant intent, I assume. They're going to review. As I don't think there's any flagrant intent there. I think maybe Simon and Rivera's feet just got tripped up as Simon is trying to go for the rebound. But we will have a timeout on the floor, John, and we'll take a look at how this game's gone so far. UMass, this is a game where coming into it, you're playing with house money at this point. You know you probably won't come into this game. It's a game you're not expected to win. But they've put up a good performance so far. What have you seen from them?
I mean, they're playing hard. I mean, I think you definitely see guys competing. I think a lot of people thought Dayton was going to run them out of the building. It's a 5-point game here with 4:26 left in the first half. And I think other than that one stretch where Dayton kind of went on a run, looked like they had a chance at a couple kill shots, they just couldn't hit a shot. UMass kept it close, haven't gone destroyed. I think the rebound battle's tied. It's still down one of the turnovers, but Dayton's not running them out of the building. They're just keeping it close. Second chance points is 7-0 Dayton, though. That is something that UMass has to be able to fix. And they're playing hard. I mean, so far, just stick with the game right now. I think we'll see how they can keep it up. We did see in the Richmond game, they had a good first half and fell apart in the second half. So it's going to be important they can finish this one out.
Take a look at some of the leading scorers from today's game. For Dayton, it's been Javon Bennett and Nate Santos, both with 7 points apiece to lead the way for Dayton. And for UMass, it's Rasul Diggins and Marquis Worthy. Diggins with 8 and Worthy with 6 off the bench, giving them some great minutes while Jalen Curry rides the bench with a few fouls. As we just saw right in front of us, the Guess That Town here, as they got the big UMass logo stretched across the court. They've taken advantage, play a little game. That guy got Blackstone wrong. I'm not sure if he got it wrong. He actually looked like he was pretty accurate with it. but just before that, they gave him a Cape Cod Town, which reminds me a lot of Moisty Meyer there in the bottom right corner of Massachusetts. Excuse me. Timeout's gone on for quite a long time now, as the refs are finally coming out, possibly with a decision. I think they're signaling to the scores table.
Having a discussion about it could be a good sign for UMass.
UMass needs all the help they can get in the battle against Dayton. Like we said, Dayton, a team with tournament aspirations this season, as that loss to GW on the road by 20 will definitely not help their chances at getting an at-large bid this year, as they're currently now ranked the 50th team in KenPom, which if you're going by that, they would not get in. But still a lot of time to turn around the season. They're 11-4 with a couple quality wins on the year. They won versus UConn, one of the best teams in the country down in Maui, as well as very close losses to Iowa State and North Carolina. They won a home game against Marquette, which if you're watching college basketball there, Marquette top 10 team in the country right now. And then a neutral loss to Cincinnati. They've definitely got the resume as of right now to get in, but they're really going to have to run the table here in the A10. Can't afford to have a 5+ loss season in the A10 if they want that at-large bid. As we talked about the A10 being a team that could possibly be a multi-bid league this year.
I mean, they got in as an at-large last year, so they've done it before. So, what's a better A10 this year? They think they definitely have a chance.
So the decision from the refs there was that it was just a common foul on Simon. So it's a 1-1 for UMass. Rivera knocked down the front end of the 1-1, as his second free throw now is good. So 30-27, UMass down by 3, 4:20 left to play, as Malachi Smith crosses half court, hands off to Latong, guarded by Doumbia. Simon's got it, deep left wing, over to Smith. Smith has it poked free by Diggins and barely saves it from going out of bounds. Top of the key with just 8 seconds to shoot. Over to the corner for Musa, who turns it over, and Rasul Diggins comes away with it. Diggins the other way. Tries to feed it into the paint to Doumbia, and a bit too strong on the bounce pass as it dribbles out of bounds back to Dayton.
Doumbia getting more minutes tonight than he's gone all season. Definitely something, maybe Frank saw something in practice, but...
Well, we had a whistle under 4 minutes here, but it will not be the under 4 media timeout. They're going to say that review by the refs will be taken as that media timeout. So Dayton's got it with 3:35 left to play. Posh Alexander getting the double team from Worthy, and Doumbia goes out of bounds, almost goes out of bounds with it. Now they're going to say he did step out. I thought they might have said he threw it off of Doumbia in time, but Posh Alexander steps out of bounds, and Doumbia forces a turnover.
Definitely seen Doumbia's definitely been active. It's been a mixed bag, but it's a good play there for a freshman. It's been encouraging we've seen so far. It's definitely stuff to build on.
Long inbound from Diggins comes into Doumbia, who had Latong all over him in the backcourt. But Dayton lays off of the press as UMass crosses half court with about 22 seconds on the shot clock. Worthy top of the key. He's got Alexander on him. Gets the screen with now Smith on him. Worthy over to the corner for Gamba. He'll pull a three. Gamba a bit strong on that three-point attempt and fight for the rebound. Simon comes away with it for Dayton.
Not a great shot there for Gamba. Heavily contested, wasn't super open. Gotta find better than that with time on the shot clock.
And Malachi Smith driving into the lane that time has his shot blocked out of bounds. It will stay with Dayton with 24 on the shot clock, 3:05 on the game clock here. Dayton up by 3, have not made a field goal in the last 3 minutes of this game. UMass really locked up defensively here in the last few minutes. Long inbound comes into Posh Alexander. To the wing for Simon. Back up top, Alexander open for 3. Off the back rim, and Daniel Rivera pulls away the defensive rebound. He's looking to push. Tries to get it up ahead to Gamba. Nice play by Simon to just get a hand on it, but Doumbia comes away with the loose ball and is fouled on his way up, so he will go to the line to shoot too.
This game's definitely starting to be played to UMass's advantage a little bit. Getting a slower pace, kind of like a more grinded out type of game, which for a UMass team that's not a great shooting team, that's exactly where they want to live. They're doing that right now.
Well, Amadou Doumbia heading to the free throw line. Not sure he's got too much experience there in his collegiate career, as he has taken a few free throws this season. His first free throw is in. Doumbia, who is shooting 1 for 3 from the line coming into today, makes it 2 for 4 on the season. And he's got his first point of the day to make it a 2-point game. So UMass with a chance to make it a 1-point game. Doumbia at the line. His second free throw is good. Big free throws from the freshman Doumbia.
Good rally from UMass here. They were down 10 early, but it was getting away from them. It cut to 1.
Well, the limited crowd here at the Mullins Center getting into it. UMass down by 1. Around 2:30 left to play here in the first half. Enoch Cheeks, top of the key. Over to Malachi Smith on the wing. Nice quick pass from Letang on the block to Santos in the corner, who's fouled on the 3. And Frank Martin getting right in the face of Gigian Gamba as that happened right in front of the UMass bench.
I think that's been building up for a little bit. He took a bad 3 on the few possessions ago. Takes a foul there. I think Frank just not happy with the inexperienced freshman.
Nate Santos will now head to the line to shoot 3 free throws. And that foul on Gigian Gamba makes it so now that 5 Minutemen have 2 fouls apiece. As Santos, his first free throw is up and in. Dayton with a chance to make it a 2-possession game once again. They now go up by 2. Nate Santos, the senior from Geneva, Illinois, was selected to the preseason All-A-10 first team. So he knocks down his first 2 free throws, and Jacob Connor will check in for the first time today for Posh Alexander. And Nate Santos, somebody who played his first 2 seasons at the University of Pittsburgh, did not see much play time there, transferred to Dayton and instantly became a star. Senior leader of this team this year, knocks down all 3 free throws to put Dayton back up by 4. Diggins will inbound into Worthy. 2:30 left to play. 33-29 is the score. Gigian Gamba crossing half court just in time against the press. Over to Worthy on the right wing. Worthy driving in at Letang. Knocks him right to the ground, and a nice finish by Marquis Worthy in the paint. He's up to 8 points now.
I think a broken record. His mentality change has been so impressive just in season. What he's done since Thanksgiving on has been very impressive.
Santos driving on Rivera, goes right at him, draws the foul. Are they going to give this one to Rivera or Doumbia? They will give it to Doumbia. So instead of Rivera picking up his 3rd, Doumbia picks up his 2nd. And yet another foul on UMass. 6 guys with 2 fouls. They've got 13 total here in the first half to Dayton's 9.
Abdelgawad with 3 fouls too. So
Santos back at the free throw line. He's got a game-high 10 points, 5 of them at the line. His first free throw off the front rim and in. So make it 6 for 6 from the line. Just a 72% free throw shooter on the season, but off to a hot start. Second free throw off the front rim and in once again. So make it 7 for 7 and 12 points for Nate Santos as Dayton now leads 35-31. Just north of 2 minutes left in the first half. Diggins' inbound comes into Worthy. Worthy over to Rivera. Just ahead of half court, crosses with 23 seconds on the shot clock. Hands to Worthy. Worthy waiting for the offense to circulate as he gets it over to Diggins on the right wing. Quick pass from Worthy into Doumbia, who's fouled and one. Amadou Doumbia, the freshman, showing out in the minutes that Frank has awarded him.
I mean, that's the key for guys who don't play. You get your opportunity, you got to show something. He's doing that so far. For someone who's inexperienced to be playing as well as he has so far, it's something to encourage Frank Martin. Maybe this guy's got potential. Could you give him more minutes? And I think went through a tough season for UMass. They're looking for any kind of spark. Doumbia so far, he's given them that.
Amadou Doumbia, while he was just a 3-star prospect coming out of high school, knocks down the free throw to convert the and one. We'll get a break as Muhammad and Jinge check back in for Gigian Gamba and Doumbia. But as I was saying, Doumbia is a guy that scouts have looked at and said, yeah, this guy's a real talent. A lot of coaches around the country know who he is, and they were paying attention to him. He had some real offers, chose to come to UMass. Very lengthy, scoring-capable center that you don't see a lot in college basketball now. As the layup that time from Cheeks, no good, but offensive rebound by Zed Key. As Santos drives in on Muhammad, and Muhammad late trying to get the block. Santos able to finish, so Dayton goes back up by 3.
Santos taking over this game a little bit for Dayton.
Worthy showing some of that aggressiveness, but unable to convert the layup. Dayton comes away with it. Jacob Connor driving on Jinge, kicks it back out to Cheeks. Cheeks over to Santos. Hands off to Malachi Smith, and Dayton will slow things up with just over a minute left to play in the first half. 37-34. Dayton up by 3. Smith driving right at Muhammad, and Muhammad pins it against the glass. But Dayton will stay with it. They're going to say Malachi Smith dribbled it out of bounds along the baseline, and Dayton will gain possession for UMass.
UMass, definitely not a huge crowd, but you can definitely tell this is one of the better crowds they've had in a while. The crowd's getting into it a little bit. Definitely appreciating the effort the Minutemen have given in the first half.
And Muhammad, who was a bit late on some of his attempts to block the ball on the earlier possessions, with good timing that time against Smith, pinning it against the glasses. UMass the other way has Jinge's pass poked out of bounds. So possession will stay with UMass with 54 seconds left in the first half.
UMass right now, a 4-1 lead in blocks. That's one thing that, one of those little things that might not be able to definitely get a little bit better at it. That's an advantage they have over Dayton. So
Jinge will inbound to Diggins. Diggins going to slow things down completely. At the power U, gets the screen from Rivera. Nice pass inside to Rivera, who finishes with the right hand at the hoop, and UMass cuts the lead to just 1.
Great cut there from Rivera. He's getting some really good minutes today. Definitely a good balanced team effort from UMass with a couple guys in foul trouble. You need everyone to step up to get this win.
12 seconds, separate the shot clock and game clock here. 25 seconds left to play. Malachi Smith holding at the top of the arc. Smith over to Santos. Top of the key. Nice backdoor cut by Enoch. Cheeks inside, and he finishes the layup. UMass coming the other way, just 10 seconds left in the first half. Diggins might want to go quick, but he's moving pretty slow. 5 seconds left to shoot. Diggins spinning, puts up the shot. His shot no good. Fight for the loose ball, no good. Nate Santos will chuck up a three-quarter court shot, and he comes up short with it. So Dayton will head into the half with a 39-36 lead over the UMass Minutemen, John. A great first half from both teams. What have you seen so far?
UMass is fighting right now. That's the key thing. I think you definitely, with a team in a game like this, you're always worried is UMass going to quit. But they're fighting so far. They've been a better first half team recently. They led Arizona State at the half. They were playing well against Richmond in the first half. They finished this game now. That's going to be the question.
Well, both teams are fighting here. Dayton, and they're just their second road game of the season. Trying to get back in the win column after their loss to George Washington. And UMass on a 3-game losing streak, trying to snap that here. And if UMass can play the way they did in the first half and the second half, we'll be in for a sensational finish in the second half. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break for the halftime here on 91.1 WMUA, the home fort for all things Minutemen sports. Welcome back to this broadcast of UMass basketball, which is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, the small town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30. You can find them online at millrivertavern.com or on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their kind support of our station. UMass at halftime trails Dayton 39-36. And if you're just joining us, I'm Andrew Samaha, joined alongside my partner John Gigian. And we are here at the Mullen Center to witness this A-10 conference matchup between the two teams. John, what did you see in the first half from both sides? This has been a very closely contested game so far.
Well, UMass, they're doing those little things. They're hitting their free throws. Right now, they're getting good production of the bench. They had a couple guys in foul trouble, but they're just playing hard. They're just not letting Dayton run away with anything, and they forced Dayton to handle like a grind-out type of game, which plays very much to UMass's favor. The big thing is, though, they've been very good in the first half. They led a very good Arizona State team in Springfield at half. They played well against Richmond in the first half. It's been the second half. They've just given up that one big run that just puts the game away. They're playing catch-up, and they're not able to finish out the game. How can they have to come out ready to go in the second half. Handle that initial spurt that Dayton's going to throw at them. Be ready. Like, say you go around your own. That's going to be a thing. Can they finish the game now? That's been the story of the season for UMass so far.
So far for UMass, they haven't quite had all their guys going at the same time like you'd want to see. Coming into the year, the expectation was that Rasul Diggins and Jalen Curry would be carrying the offense, but so far today, Jalen Curry's been apprehended on the bench with his 2 personal fouls that he picked up early, so he's got 2 fouls in just his 5 minutes. So it's been Rasul Diggins trying to carry the load alongside Daniel Rivera. They've got 8 and 9 points respectively. And as for Dayton, it's been the Nate Santos show. 14 points, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 3 for 6 from the floor. And Javon Bennett and Zed Key with 7 apiece, helping him out as we are almost set to get underway here for the second half. Both teams shot just about evenly from the floor in that first half. Dayton 12 of 25, UMass 12 of 26, with the difference being Dayton 3 of 10 from the three-point line, and UMass just 1 of 7, a place where UMass has severely struggled so far this season. UMass, on the season, they find themselves in the very bottoms of the country in terms of three-point percentage, just 26% on the season, where Dayton, on the other hand, in the top 100 at 35% from beyond the arc. So that's been UMass's problem, trying to close games as they just get cold in the second half. So they'll try to fend off a possible tournament team in Dayton here in the second half as we are almost underway. UMass changing up their look here in the second half, not going with all the starters. It's Jalen Curry, Rasul Diggins, Jaden Jingay, Daniel Rivera, and Daniel Hankins-Sanford, who just played 2 minutes in that first half but had 2 personal fouls, starting over all 3 UMass centers. So he will be playing the 5. As for Dayton, they've gone with their starting 5. Santos, Key, Cheeks, Smith, and forgetting who the 5th one was that I just forgot to mention. Javon Bennett, excuse me. That's the 5th one. So Dayton fails to convert on one end. UMass will come back the other way. 19:30 left. Jingay to the top of the key for Curry. Hands back to Jingay, who Jingay gives back to Curry. Now Rivera's got it in the corner. Working to the free throw line over to Diggins. Diggins with a chance to tie the game from 3. He does it. Rasul Diggins.
Huge start to the half right there. Getting off to a good start in the second half. You struggled it. That's huge for UMass right there.
Diggins into double digits now with 11 points, and that's an offensive foul on Dayton. An illegal screen set by Zed Key. So UMass with a little momentum coming out of the half here.
And there's the crowd getting into it a little bit for the Minutemen. That's something we haven't seen a lot this year. So could that kind of buoy them a little bit here in the second half.
We're tied up at 39. Jalen Curry gets the inbound. We haven't even played a minute yet here in the first half. And UMass has seemed to take the momentum back. Diggins has it on the right wing up top for Hankins-Sanford. Hankins-Sanford hands off to Diggins. Diggins free on the wing from the screen from Hankins-Sanford. Can't hit the 3, but Jingay fights for the offensive rebound, and he's fouled, and he will head to the free throw line.
UMass, the energy is to the game in the second half. Getting offensive rebound, we said pregame, got to get those second chance points. They didn't do great with the second half, and Jingay gets one there.
And that's what Jaden Jingay does so well. Fights and fights and fights. He is such a pest for opposing teams on the offensive and defensive glass.
After the Harvard game, Frank Martin, he said, whenever I need an answer, Jaden Jingay is the guy I go to give me that answer. So, really good relationship with Frank Martin there. He's just that guy who does the little things for UMass.
Jaden Jingay knocks down the first free throw. Somewhere he has struggled from the line as well. 58% on the season, but he was 5 for 5 in the game against Richmond. Starting to turn things around from the line as he knocks down both free throws here to put UMass up by 2, 41-39. Malachi Smith's pass is tipped out of bounds. It'll be a kick ball, so Dayton will keep possession here. 18:43 left in the first half.
You definitely have to think Frank Martin talked about these second half struggles because UMass has come out with so much energy to begin this half.
It has never been the lack of energy for UMass that has been the reason they've fallen in games. It's just been the lack of shot making down the stretch in games. So you got to see if they can maintain this play the rest of the way. It's Malachi Smith driving on the right side, goes right at Daniel Rivera, who comes away with the block. Jaden Jingay with the rebound, and Diggins coming the other way. Diggins working on Malachi Smith, driving to his right, kicks it out to Rivera. Over to Curry on the left wing, still scoreless today. Over to Diggins on the right wing. Diggins feeds inside to Rivera, quick pass out to Jingay on the right wing for 3, no good. Offensive rebound, Curry. Curry attacks hard and finishes the layup. UMass up by 4. Jalen Curry on the board for the first time today.
Loved everything about that sequence. Great pass, good look, missed it, but got the second chance points. Textbook UMass basketball right there.
Smith gets a screen from Zed Key over the wing for Santos. Hands off to Bennett. Bennett back over to Santos, left wing. He's open for 3. His shot no good. Jalen Curry with the rebound. And UMass, once again, all the life here in the second half. Curry the other way to the corner for Jingay. Jingay driving. Spins around Cheeks up top. Daniel Hankin-Sanford open for 3. No good. Not the shot UMass was looking for.
That one would have set this building on fire if Hankin-Sanford could have hit that one.
Malachi Smith came away with the long rebound as he's guarded very closely by Jingay the other way. Drives in, kicks it out. Santos on the left wing. Daniel Rivera falls to the floor on the drive by Santos. His layup no good. And a foul called on Daniel Hankin-Sanford. I believe that one's going to be on the floor.
UMass caught a break there. Rivera slipped there. So Santos had a clear lane to the rim, but UMass, good help defense there to force a miss.
Well, it looked like the foul was on Daniel Hankin-Sanford, but they're going to credit it to Rasul Diggins. So that's Diggins' first. That keeps DHS away from getting his third. The Dayton will inbound from the baseline out of bounds as it's swung around the perimeter over to Smith on the wing, up top for Cheeks. Looking to get it inside to Key, working on Daniel Hankin-Sanford. Nice move, but can't finish with the left hook, and Daniel Hankin-Sanford with the rebound. Curry the other way. Just over 3 minutes played here. Dayton still scoreless in the first half. UMass on a 7-0 run to start the half. Curry over to Rivera, right wing. Driving on Santos. Backing him down on the right block. Draws the double team. Rivera trying to work through it. Has it poked out of bounds, but it will stay with UMass with 9 on the shot clock.
Everything's tough for Dayton right now. They definitely look a little flustered. Not a lot of. They're not great. Body language on their bench isn't great. So UMass, they got this game's right there for them. They finish.
Diggins gets freed up in the corner, wide open 3, no good. Those are the shots he needs to hit. As Santos going quickly up ahead to Cheeks. Cheeks' layup at the rim, no good. He's fouled on the way up. The follow from Zedke was no good, but it doesn't matter anyways. And Cheeks will head to the line with a chance to put Dayton on the board here in the first half.
That Diggins, couple opportunities here. UMass have had some wide open threes, and I think would have really set this building ablaze. But
it's been those moments where UMass has failed to capitalize, the huge moments, the chance to set the crowd into a flurry. Unable to convert as Cheeks goes to the free throw line. His first free throw is good. So Marquis Worthy will check in for Jalen Curry. Enoch Cheeks set to take his second free throw in his second season at Dayton. Spent 3 years with Robert Morris over in the Horizon League. Knocks down both free throws. And Dayton trailing by 2 now.
Cheeks and Key for Dayton. They have a team that's definitely they don't use it a ton, but they utilize the transfer portal effectively when they use it.
Sol Diggins crossing the power U now, breaking the press of Dayton. Diggins calling the offense, gets the screen from Hankin Sanford, working to his left. Kicks to the right corner for Worthy. Worthy driving to the hoop. Nice drive by Worthy, but has his shot blocked, but that'll be a goaltend on Zed Key. So count the basket for UMass. And Marquis Worthy into double digits with 10 points.
He's just been aggressive all day, getting into the rim. That's how UMass is going to win the game, just getting downhill, winning the battle in the paint. Worthy's doing everything in his power to help them do that.
45-41, UMass up by 4 as Dayton was trying to cut into that. Santos hands off to Bennett. Bennett driving, kicks out to Zed Key. Hands right back to Bennett at the top of the key. Throws one up for Zed Key. His finish at the hoop no good, but a foul called on Daniel Hankin Sanford. That's his third personal. As that'll take us to the under 16 media timeout. 15:57 left to play here in the first half. If you appreciate good basketball, you will stick around for the rest of the second half. UMass 45, Dayton 41 here at the Mullins Center. Welcome back to this broadcast of UMass basketball, which is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, Small Town Tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30, and you can find them online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their kind support. Still a lot of game left to play here, John. But coming out of the half, UMass on an 8-2 run to start, or 9-2 run, to start things off. They find themselves ahead 45-41.
Well, the energy's been there. You could definitely tell they had a discussion at halftime. All right, guys, we have not been good in the second half this year. We got to be better. And they came out with energy to be in the second half. But you still see, they had a couple opportunities, a couple of wide open threes that would have really just set this building off. And they just couldn't hit them. So you're going to have to figure out a way to finish that. When you get those opportunities to really open it up, you got to take them. Because they're an NCAA tournament caliber team. They're not going to go away. They know they can't lose this game if they want to keep their at-large win hopes alive. So you got to just keep coming. You have to always execute at a certain point.
Well, UMass with a chance to pull off an upset at home. They were 9.5-point underdogs, according to Vegas, coming into this game. As they come out of the media timeout, Dayton's 5 is Bennett, Santos, Cheeks, Key, and Malachi Smith. So they're sticking with their starters. As UMass going with Diggins, Worthy, Jinge, Rivera, and Amadou Doumbia checking in for Daniel Hankin Sanford, who just picked up his third foul. Not a lot of run for Hankin Sanford today with his foul trouble. Bennett will inbound from the baseline into Zed Key. To the top of the key for Cheeks, back over to Smith on the wing. Key's got it right around the free throw line, being hounded by Doumbia. Hands off to Santos. Top of the key, Santos guarded by Worthy over to the left wing for Malachi Smith. He pulls a quick three. His shot no good. Fight for the rebound between Jinge, Doumbia, and Key, and a foul called on Jaden Jinge. So his second personal, and that's just a rebound UMass has to come away with.
Definitely. Another thing to keep an eye on here, UMass, that's 4 team fouls already in the half. They got into the bonus very quickly. That could come into play here late.
We're not even 4.5 minutes in, and they've picked up those 4 fouls. So that's 17 team fouls on UMass so far in the game. Has a nice play by Dayton to draw up Nate Santos open in the corner for 3, and he buries it.
And that's the point right there. UMass, Dayton's a good team. They're not going to go away. You're going to have to keep executing throughout the second half to hang on here.
Dayton now down by 1. Nate Santos up to 17 points on the game. 45-44. UMass with a 1-point lead as Worthy's got it. Just at about the power U, hands off to Doumbia, top of the key. Hands off to Diggins, who has it stolen away by Javon Bennett. Bennett racing to the hoop, goes up on Doumbia, who blocks it off the backboard, and the crowd can't believe it as they call a foul on Amadou Doumbia. His third personal. And that seems like a very questionable call there. A 5'10 Javon Bennett going up against a 6'11 Amadou Doumbia. And they give Bennett the foul call. The crowd in disbelief.
I mean, it looked like he got all ball there, but I guess they have to say he got some body. I didn't see that there. I think that's a tough call. That's good aggressive play by the freshman center. But
Javon Bennett knocks down the first free throw to tie the game as Posh Alexander checks back in for Dayton. And Malachi Smith will head to the bench to get things going here in the second half. 15:02 left to play. Javon Bennett puts Dayton back ahead by 1, 46-45. Diggins will inbound. Dayton getting into their press. Diggins' inbound comes into Doumbia, but a foul called away from the ball against the Flyers. Give it to Enoch Cheeks. So 3 on Enoch Cheeks now. Anthony Grant will not go to the bench, even with Cheeks' 3 fouls. Diggins will inbound. Deep inbound pass to Jaden Jinge all the way down the floor, falls to the ground while trying to get the pass off to Doumbia, and they whistle another foul on Dayton.
That's on Santos. That's his third.
Yeah, Nate Santos, just like you said, picking up his third personal. That's big for UMass. Santos has been torching them all game long. 4 for 9 from the floor, 7 for 7 from the free throw line, 17 points. As Worthy will inbound at the 15-minute mark exactly.
Definitely incentive for UMass here. Get to the rim. They got some guys in foul trouble. Might not want to pick up a foul. You could either...
As Diggins almost turns it over. Posh Alexander, great. That's poking the ball away. Got in the lane that time, but UMass stayed with it. But Diggins' drive has it stolen away anyways. Dayton coming the other way quickly. Santos driving to the hoop. Goes right at 2 UMass defenders, and another foul whistled on UMass. I believe this one will be called on Marquis Worthy as things are starting to get chippy inside. Looks like it was Worthy, Doumbia, and Zed Key all in there just getting aggressive with each other.
I will say, it's definitely the kind of game I think that benefits UMass. Kind of more gritty, grinded out type of game. For a team that's not a great shooting team, this is probably the world you want to live in if you're UMass. They kind of dunk the game up a little bit. Definitely get the strategy that can work for the Minutemen.
Marquis Worthy just picked up his first foul of the game. UMass with their 6th foul of the second half here. It's been a pretty slow start to the half, and I don't mean that scoring-wise. I mean that by the clock. Still 14:42 left to play. We've had 10 total fouls now in this game. As Santos will head to the line. He misses his first free throw of the game. And Abdelgawad will check back in for Amadou Doumbia for UMass.
UMass bigs in a little bit of foul trouble. Doumbia and Abdelgawad with 3 fouls. What do you gotta think we'll see a little more Muhammad minutes here in the second half.
Santos' second free throw at the line off the front rim. And no good. So Daniel Rivera pulling away the rebound. And UMass coming the other way with a chance to regain the lead. Rivera, top of the key, picks up his dribble. Gives it off to Worthy on the right wing. Worthy looking for somewhere to go with it. Driving on Santos. Fadeaway jumper by Marquis Worthy. That is not the shot. And a rebound by Dayton. Into the corner. Posh Alexander over to Nate Santos on the right wing. Trying to feed it inside to Zed Key, and Abdelgawad and Zed Key getting tied up in low. That's a foul on Abdelgawad, his 4th personal.
And Dayton already in the bonus now. Good shots for Dayton.
Zed Key will have a 1-and-1 now. Zed Key taking his 4th total trip to the line. He's 3 for 5 on the day. As Jay and Simon will check in for Dayton for Nate Santos, and Daniel Hankins Sanford back into the game for UMass, checking in for Abdelgawad. So slow start to the game here in the second half, I should say. 14-14 still left. 46-45 Dayton. Zed Key, this front end of the 1-and-1 is good. He's up to 8 points and 3 boards now. 4 for 6 from the line.
No Santos here for Dayton. You got to hope UMass take advantage of this a little bit and go on a little bit of run of their own.
Zed Key knocks down both free throws. So Dayton going back up by 3. 6-0 run in the last minute and 15 seconds. UMass on a scoring drought of about 2 minutes and a risky inbounds pass by Diggins. as Javon Bennett pokes it out of bounds, but it will stay with UMass on the Dayton press. Diggins is inbound into Hankins Sanford. Back to Diggins, and Dayton will not back off of this press here. All over Diggins, getting it across to Daniel Rivera with about 2 seconds to spare. Rivera handing to Diggins across the power U. Diggins driving to his left, getting into the lane on Bennett. Nice stop and a nice floater by Rasul Diggins. Making it a 1-point game. Diggins up to 13 now.
Diggins, you see him improve the last few games. Good to see him score a little bit today shooting-wise, but good to see him get one there.
Javon Bennett frees himself up for a three from the right wing, buries it, and Dayton going back up by 4.
Well, this type of shots that UMass has not hit today and really all season, that they're probably going to have to at some point. They're going to win this game.
Diggins gets it to Jinge in the left corner, back out to Diggins on the left wing. Working on Simon. Diggins, step back three from the left wing, no good. Jaden Jinge, the offensive rebound, out to Worthy. He'll pull a three from the top of the key. No good. Jinge fighting again for the rebound, over to Diggins on the wing. No good, and UMass once again failing to convert as that ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Daniel Rivera, and Dayton will gain possession.
That pretty much summed up UMass's entire season on that one possession right there. Just so many good looks, and they just can't hit one.
3 chances there by UMass to knock down a three. 2 from Diggins, 1 from Worthy. They failed to convert all of them, and Javon Bennett the other way could have punished them really badly if he knocked down that three from the wing. But Dayton will get another chance at it as Jinge pokes it out of bounds, and it will stay with Dayton. So UMass now 2 for 15 from behind the arc after those 3 straight misses there. Had a chance to cut the lead down to 1, but it was not written in the stars. So the inbound comes out to Javon Bennett, pulling it back out near half court over to Simon. Back to Bennett. Bennett will not use the screen from Key, passes it off to Simon. 2-man game between Bennett and Simon. Bennett back over to Simon, into the corner for Alexander. Posh Alexander forcing up a 3 with 2 on the clock, off the backboard, and the rim no good. And Rivera grabbing his 5th rebound of the game. Rivera's got Posh Alexander on him, a bit of a mismatch, but kicks it off to Worthy. Worthy driving on Simon, his layup off the glass, and a goaltending call against Zed Key, his 2nd goaltending of the game. And Marquis Worthy now up to 12 points on the game.
Love to see that from Worthy. Just, offense has kind of stagnated a little bit. Just need someone to just say, I'm going to go to the rim, just drive to the paint, and just see if I can make something happen. So good play there from Worthy. Just stay aggressive.
Just under 12:30 left to play in the game. As UMass is in their trap at half court, Jinge almost came away with a steal. But Posh Alexander the other way finishes at the hoop against Daniel Rivera. And Dayton back up 53-49 with just over 12 minutes left.
Unlucky there for UMass. Good defensive play by Jinge, just landed right in Dayton's hands. Unfortunate, but good effort there. Have to keep doing that.
UMass breaks the press with Diggins and Rivera as Rivera's shot off the glass, and that's the 3rd goaltending against Zed Key, 2nd in a row, as Rivera will be credited with the basket there. He's up to 11 now, and with that, Zed Key will check out of the game, and Latong will check back in for Dayton.
I want to be just hoping they don't notice. Definitely. Well, UMass having success getting to the paint, so got to keep doing that.
A couple pretty obvious goaltends there from Zed Key. Finds his way to the bench. It's now Dayton looking to break the UMass press. Posh Alexander just across half court, gets trapped, but kicks it out to Bennett. Bennett pulling it back out from the righter hemisphere of half court. Almost steps back court. Don't think he realized how close he was there.
UMass running a zone here. Definitely a different look from Frank Martin.
Into Latong. Latong kicks to a cutting Simon. Nice backdoor cut by Simon right through the zone, and a nice look by Latong. And Dayton up by 4 once again.
Don't hate the difference in these last few possessions here. Dayton made a nice play there. Got a little lucky in the possession before. I think it's not letting the results, but UMass playing good defense right here lately.
Posh Alexander all over Daniel Rivera, who just wouldn't give up the ball, but eventually draws the foul. Posh Alexander caught with his hands in the cookie jar. But that'll take us to the under 12 media timeout. 11:17 left to play in the second half. We've got a great one in store here in Amherst. Dayton 55, UMass 51 from the Mullen Center. Welcome back to this broadcast of UMass basketball, which is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, the small town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30, and they are online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their kind support. We've got 11:17 left here in the game from the Mullen Center between UMass and Dayton. Dayton leading 55-51. Coming out of this media timeout, John, once again, closely contested game the whole way through. What can UMass do to cut their way back into this lead and back into the game?
I mean, at risk of sounding like a broken record here, at a certain point, you have to hit your shots. I mean, right now, they're 2 of 15 from 3. Diggins, who's been doing better of late, he's 2 for 9 from 3 today. They're getting good looks too on some of these shots. You have to be able to knock them down if you're able to pull enough set.
Well, there's no two ways about it. UMass, not a good shooting team. Also not a good free throw shooting team, but as of late, they've started to step it up. In their last 2 games against St. Joe's and Richmond, they shot over 80% in both of those games from the free throw line. Today, they're at 93% shooting 13 of 14. So that's certainly been an emphasis for them that they need to turn it around. And they've certainly done well to do so in conference play in that category. So that's what's really helped them stay in this game so far today. The inbound comes into Marquis Worthy over to Daniel Hankin-Sanford.
Interesting, we haven't seen Jalen Curry much, and he only has 2 fouls right now. At this point in the game, you would think they could get him in there.
Well, knowing Frank Martin, it must be a defensive thing with Jalen Curry, as with 2 seconds on the clock, Rasul Diggins chucks up an ugly 3-pointer off the glass, and that'll be a shot clock violation against Rasul Diggins.
I thought that not the side of the rim.
I think that one just got the backboard there.
Tossing the trajectory changed a little bit, but
And not much arguing from the UMass side, so I would assume they got that one right. As Posh Alexander will cross half court with it, hands off to Simon, who gives to Bennett. Bennett over to Alexander on the left wing, driving, kicks out to Javon Bennett. Bennett driving on Diggins now, stops at the block, kicks it back out to Alexander. Alexander is pushed on his shot attempt by Worthy. And Posh Alexander will go to the line to shoot 2.
UMass still active on defense, but Dayton's doing a good job kind of cutting it apart.
Marquis Worthy picks up his second personal foul. And it would take more than one hand to count how many UMass players in this game have at least 2 fouls. That's their 8th foul of the half, as Alexander's first free throw is no good. Posh.
Dayton missing some free throws here. I mean, they're leaving the door open for UMass here. They have not been able to take advantage of that when it's happened this year. See if it can be any different tonight.
Well, Alexander knocks down the second free throw to make it a 5-point game. So he's up to 8 points in his 16 minutes off the bench. Diggins will inbound over to Marquis Worthy, who's being double-teamed as he picks up his dribble, gets it to Rivera in the backcourt. Rivera crosses half court, driving hard to the hole. Nice pass off to a wide-open Jaden Jingay for an easy layup for UMass.
I mean, if you can break that initial press, there's going to be opportunities for layups at the rim. So that's going to be a critical part of the second half. Dayton keeps doing that press.
Bennett gets the screen from Diggins. Top of the key, swings it around the left side for, can't tell who that is. I think that's Cheeks with it in the left corner. Over to Bennett, top of the key. Gets the screen from Latong. Nice hedge by Hankin-Sanford. Draws the pass over to Alexander, right wing. He'll force up a 3 over Marquis Worthy. No good, and Hankin-Sanford with a strong defensive rebound. Diggins, the other way, pushing it right into Alexander. Nice kick to Daniel Hankin-Sanford in low, who can't finish the layup, but almost had the offensive rebound. Hankin-Sanford has it poked away. Javon Bennett streaking the other way, goes right at Marquis Worthy and has it swatted out of bounds.
I feel like a broken record here, but I keep just being so amazed at the turnaround from Marquis Worthy. There were people saying like he might not even be a D1 like caliber player at the beginning of the year, and the way he's turned it around has just been really impressive.
Marquis Worthy coming in today was averaging about 4.5 points a game. Today he's got 12 points on 5 of 9 shooting from the floor to go with 2 boards and that block now. So great showing off the bench from Marquis Worthy as Jalen Curry has sat on the bench with just his 2 points, filling in nicely. Bennett's got it, top of the key, over to Alexander on the right wing. Back up to Bennett. Bennett will take a deep 3. Circles in and out. And a foul on the floor will go against UMass on the rebound. And that, I believe, will be against Jaden Jingay. So that's his 3rd.
That's his 3rd. Team's 9th.
That's the 9th foul on UMass now. So Santos will head to the line for a 1-1. Dayton's final 1-1 of the game. Santos, 17 points, 7 of 9 from the line. Does have 3 personal fouls, but he's been outstanding today for Dayton. As his free throw off the left rim and out, and Daniel Rivera grabs the rebound. 56-53, just over 9 minutes left to play in the second half. This is anybody's game at this point as Diggins gets the screen from DHS. Diggins working to his right, tries to kick it to Rivera in low, but tipped out of bounds. It will stay with UMass with 13 on the shot clock. Worthy will inbound from the baseline. Worthy, Diggins, Gigian, Rivera, and Hankins Sanford, the UMass 5. As Worthy inbounds it to Hankins Sanford on the left wing. And Hankins Sanford trying to hand it off to Diggins, who has a bad collision with Javon Bennett. As Bennett gets called for his 3rd foul there. UMass will get the clock reset to 20 now.
A couple Dayton starters with 3 fouls. That's something UMass, maybe they can take advantage of that. Just keep going to the rim, see if you can draw some fouls.
Well, Zed Key will check back in for Dayton for Latong. So Latong has put in a great effort for Dayton off the bench. Will head to the bench.
Even more reason to go to the room with Zed Key and might get a couple more goaltends. Who knows?
Gigian has it top of the key back over to Worthy. Worthy right wing. Picks up his dribble but gives it off to Rivera on the right corner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Rivera backing down Zed Key. Draws the double team. Rivera goes up through the double team. And a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious finish by Daniel Rivera in low to cut the lead to 1.
Good play by Rivera right there. Just posting up, finding a way to through traffic to finish. That's good touch there. So impressive from Rivera.
Gigian almost strips Simon of the ball, but able to regather. Gets it off to Bennett. Bennett to Santos. Santos driving into the paint right at DHS. His shot no good. And Daniel Rivera with his 6th board of the game.
Got numbers here if you can take advantage of it. 5 on 4.
Zed Key hits the deck, so UMass 5 on 4. Diggins takes advantage and finishes. Don't tempt me with a good time. Rasul Diggins, 15 points on the game, and UMass regains the lead, 57-56. And not sure what's happening here. I think they're just mopping up the floor because Zed Key slipped on his way back up.
A little home court advantage there for the Minutemen. Got to take any way you can get it.
And Doumbia will check back in for Hankins Sanford for this defensive possession. And DHS will receive a home crowd salute on his way back to the bench.
UMass here. Got the energy back in the building. Got to take advantage of this now. Build a little momentum here. Don't just settle for this.
6-0 run for UMass as they find themselves up by 1. Just about 8 minutes left to play. UMass struggling on defense here. Nice job by Dayton breaking that little trap, and Zed Key flushes one home to put Dayton back up by 1.
Any peaks and valleys in this game. Dayton's a good team. You're going to have to, they'll get a bucket. You have to bounce back now.
Down by 1. 7:40 left. Rivera's got it on the left wing. Hands to Diggins. UMass going slow. Working to get the best shot they can to try and regain the lead. They're 5 of their last 7 from the floor. Diggins driving on Simon to his right. To Rivera at the free throw line. Rivera face-up jumper right in front of Posh Alexander. Puts it in. Daniel Rivera up to 15 points, and UMass back ahead by 1.
Love seeing that from Rivera. He's a guy who struggled shooting this year. Definitely took his time on that one, but good to see him hit a jumper. So,
well, UMass faithful, trying to get into it to propel their guys forward here in the final 7 minutes of the game. Javon Bennett over to Simon, top of the key. Dayton swinging it all around against the UMass zone. To the corner, Javon Bennett open for 3. His shot rims out. Fight for the rebound. Diggins comes away with it. And a good chance for UMass here to extend the lead. Diggins, right at about the power U, gets a screen from Rivera. Diggins working to his left. Step back jumper from the elbow. His shot no good. Amadou Doumbia, the freshman, with the offensive rebound, goes back up. No good. Rivera the rebound, and a foul on the floor called on Dayton. So they won't count the basket, but a foul on Javon Bennett. So his 4th personal foul takes us to the under 8 media timeout. We've got a great game here at the Mullins Center. 59-58, UMass leading Dayton here on 91.1 WMUA Sports. Welcome back to this UMass broadcast, which is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, the small town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30. You can find them online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their kind support. Well, UMass has the lead in the most UMass way imaginable so far this season. They're up 59-58. They've struggled from behind the arc, John, but they've done it in low.
They're getting to the paint. You're the fourth worst shooting team in the country. How do you beat a team like Dayton? You got to get drive to the rim. Dayton is not a team with a ton of size for all their strengths. So UMass is getting downhill, getting the rim. They've got Dayton in foul trouble. Bennett's got 4 fouls. Santos and Cheeks have 3 fouls. And UMass right now with 38-22 edge in points in the paint. We always talk about the 3-point differential, and yes, they're losing that again. But a 16-point advantage in the points in the paint. That's been the key right now. They have to keep attacking, keep Dayton on their heels the rest of the game if they're going to pull this upset.
Dayton just got whistled for a foul on Javon Bennett, like you just said, his 4th personal. So Daniel Rivera will be the one heading to the free throw line here out of the timeout. He's got 15 points with 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Filling up the stat sheet today for UMass. He's 3 for 4 from the line, so he'll have a chance to stretch the UMass lead to 3 here at the line. Well, they're up by 1 with 6:30 left.
You said all season, UMass had opportunities all season to win schedule games like this, and they just haven't taken advantage of those opportunities when they had a chance. Can Rivera hit these free throws here?
It's a 1-and-1 because the foul was on the floor, and Rivera knocks down the first to make it 16 for the senior from Puerto Rico. 7 fouls on Dayton in the half, 9 on UMass. Fouls have started to slow down. We saw a lot of fouls early on from both teams. As Rivera knocks down both free throws, UMass up by 3, 61-58. Trying to protect their home floor here and advance to 6-10 on the season. Looking to get their first win in conference play. And Dayton looking to get their first road win of the season. As Rivera does a nice job jumping in the passing lane that time. Comes away with the steal and throws one down. Daniel Rivera! 19 points on the game and puts UMass up by 5. Nate Santos the other way on the wing for 3. Tries to answer. Off the front rim. No good. Offensive rebound. Zed Key stolen away by Jaden Jingay. But they're going to say he stepped out of bounds. So Dayton will gain back possession.
That Rivera steal and dunk. That's the last I've heard this crowd all season. It's plays like that. They're just lacking all year. Those big-time plays. Those little things like those steals I was talking about. They got the advantage in steals and blocks. Points in the paint. That's the keys to the game, and they're executing that right now.
Santos will inbound from the baseline while UMass is on a 12-2 run in the last 4.5 minutes. Zed Key working on Doumbia. His left hook. Foul, count the basket. Beautiful finish by Zed Key to cut the lead back down to 3.
Dayton had to have that one. This game was starting to spiral for them a little bit, but Zed Key, good bucket there for them.
As Doumbia picks up his 4th foul, Daniel Hankins-Sanford will check back in for him. Doumbia putting in a great effort as a freshman off the bench today who hasn't seen much time. 5 points and 2 boards in his 12 minutes, 3 for 3 from the line. And Zed Key looking to convert his and 1, and he does to make it a 2-point game with 5:50 left.
For UMass here, the trick is to not let it spiral. You give up a bucket, and they've tended to let bad moments like that spiral this year. Can they adjust here and finish this one off?
63-61 as Marquis Worthy crosses the power U. Gets the screen from Hankins-Sanford. Working his way into the paint. And a foul whistled on the ground against Posh Alexander. So Marquis Worthy will head to the line with a 1-and-1.
Stand aggressive from Marquis Worthy there. I like to see it. This time he gets fouled, he'll go to the line.
Marquis Worthy, we've talked about him at length today with the effort he's put in. 24 minutes off the bench. Filling in for Jalen Curry, who hasn't seen much time today. 12 points for Worthy, and he's 2 for 2 at the free throw line, looking to stay perfect. The front end of the 1-and-1. Knocks down the first free throw. It's a 3-point game.
Definitely getting really good production from these guards today. Diggins at 15, Worthy with 13 now. Been big, especially in a game where Curry hasn't played too much. He was foul trouble early, kind of got out of rhythm. They're just rolling with the hot hands right now.
Worthy knocks down both free throws, so UMass now 17 of 18 from the free throw line. and they lead 65-61 with 5.5 minutes left. Enoch Cheeks almost has it stolen away, but they're going to whistle a foul on Rasul Diggins, and he and the crowd are in absolute disbelief with that call. This booing from the crowd might be the loudest I've heard them in a long time.
I mean, that's one where UMass, they've had a couple of those very close calls where they almost got a steal, but they've got unlucky with that a few times today, but energy's there.
And folks, that one right there is a knee slapper, but not in the good way. That was not funny for UMass. An angry knee slap there for UMass fans as Enoch Cheeks heads to the line and knocks down the first free throw. 65-62, chance to make it a 2-point game. Cheeks' second free throw knocks that one down as well. 5:28 left. Diggins will inbound from the baseline. Gets it into Hankin Sanford. Big man dribbling down the floor. Hankin Sanford over to Rivera. Rivera playing the point forward here with Santos covering him. Rivera working to his right. He's now got the mismatch with Alexander on him, but kicks it back out to Diggins. Diggins working on Santos. Tries to spin around him. Can't get it there, but nice pass into the paint for Jingay, who goes up and has his shot swatted away by Cheeks. Dayton the other way. Javon Bennett to Santos, top of the key with Worthy on him. Dayton will slow things down with Alexander on the right wing. Over to Santos, left wing. Kicks to Bennett. Bennett back to the top of the key for Alexander. Alexander, top of the key. Enoch Cheeks, open three. Front rim, no good. Marquis Worthy the rebound.
Good physical rebound there from Worthy.
Worthy to Rivera. Pull up three from Daniel Rivera. Airballs it, but Jaden Jingay with a nice save over to Rasul Diggins to keep the possession alive.
Classic Jaden Gigian right there, just making that big hustle play down the stretch of a close game.
UMass will slow things down on offense here. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Diggins getting the screen from Hankin Sanford. Kicks it out to Rivera. Over to Worthy on the right wing. 5 to shoot. Worthy driving. Gets into the paint. Floater is up, and it's in. Marquis Worthy. Have yourself a night, young man. 16 points and puts UMass up 67-63. Just north of 4 minutes left.
Huge bucket there from Worthy. I mean, the day he's having today is just been huge for UMass.
Posh Alexander working on Worthy, working to his left. Gets a double screen from Santos and Key. Kicks it to Santos, top of the key. Over to Alexander. Alexander driving in right at Hankin Sanford, and a foul called on Hankin Sanford. So Posh Alexander, who comes up limping, will go to the free throw line. On the other side of the under 4 media timeout, UMass 67, Dayton 63. It's bound to be a thrilling finish here from the Mullins Center. So don't go anywhere on the other side of the break. We'll be right back here on 91.1 WMUA Sports. Welcome back here on 91.1 WMUA Sports to UMass versus Dayton. I'm Andrew Samaha, joined alongside John Gigian, and UMass holding a 67-63 lead with 3:49 left to play in the game. A thrilling game so far, John.
It really has. I mean, you just see UMass, like a lot of guys. Jalen Curry hasn't really played too much today. A lot of guys not stepping up. You get the unsung heroes. Amadubia has 5 points, 2 rebounds, made a lot of hustle plays. He's been really good. And Marquis Worthy, what is now a career-high 16 points for him. He's just done those little things all day for UMass. Hit a few huge shots. It's been a career for him, and they've needed it, and it's going to give them a chance to upset Dayton.
Marquis Worthy's previous career high was 15 versus UMass Lowell. He now surpasses that with 16 today. He's got the last 4 UMass points. As Posh Alexander will head to the free throw line. He seems to be all right after he came up limping on his last drive to the hoop against Hankin Sanford, who picked up the foul. And as he steps to the line to shoot the free throws, he's unable to do so. So I think Alexander will head to the bench.
He can't finish the game if he doesn't take the free throws.
Yeah, I believe the rule in college basketball is if you're unable to take your free throws and you come out of the game, you can't check back in, which with 3:49 left to play might seem a bit more optimal for him. He'll head to the bench.
That's crucial.
And since that's the rule, in that case, UMass gets to choose who they want to send to the free throw line. So Frank Martin will send Zed Key to the free throw line, who is 6 of 8 on the day. So Zed Key will take the shots for Posh Alexander, who heads to the bench with an injury. Malachi Smith checking in for him. Zed Key's first. Off the front rim and in.
And Bennett also has 4 fouls, so you could be getting kind of thin a guard for Dayton if they can foul him out.
Hankin Sanford just picked up his 4th foul. Zed Key looking to capitalize on both free throws. Frank Martin picked him, and Zed Key says, "You picked me? That's a mistake." 2-point game now as he knocks down both free throws, 67-65. Worthy working to break the press with Rivera as Rivera gets it back over to Worthy. Worthy working at the top of the key. Gets the screen from Hankin Sanford. Still dribbling, kicks to the corner. Rasul Diggins wide open for 3. Rasul Diggins buries it this time. Unable to convert a bunch of attempts earlier in the game, but knocks down a huge 3 for UMass to put them up by 5.
Hitting those threes in the big moment, that's something UMass has struggled with. They needed that eventually to kind of turn the tides in this game, and that's a huge one right there, Diggins.
18 for Rasul Diggins now on the night. UMass 70, Dayton 65. Just north of 3 minutes left to play. Zed Key in the paint, working on Hankin Sanford. Goes up with the left hand, comes up short, and Hankin Sanford pulls in the rebound for UMass. Diggins will slow things. 3 minutes left in the game. Up by 5. Over to Hankin Sanford at the top of the key to Jingay on the wing. Jingay back over to Diggins. Diggins goes quickly to his right, puts up a floater, no good. Tipped out of bounds, last touch by Nate Santos. So UMass will get a fresh 20 seconds on an out of bounds. And Anthony Grant will take the timeout. He's seen enough. No field goals in the last 3 minutes for Dayton. And UMass with a chance to extend the lead to 7 or 8 in their next possession. John, the momentum is just all with UMass right now. Rasul Diggins with the big 3. Big defensive stop by Daniel Hankin Sanford against Zed Key. You got to love what you're seeing out there if you're Frank Martin.
Absolutely. And the great is they got multiple guys they can go to now. There's not one guy Dana stuck. Obviously, Diggins is the guy everyone would assume. But with the game Worthy's having, Rivera's getting to the rim, you got to think they have multiple guys. Dana's got to be thinking who's going to get the ball right now. And not to mention, you got someone like Jingay and Hankin Sanford who are amazing on the offensive glass. Crash that. UMass in a good situation right now. They have to keep executing though. Like that Diggins 3, we've been waiting. Are they going to hit that big shot at the big moment? They had it all year. Diggins just got one there. 2.5 minutes to go. They got it. If they continue to do that, they're going to be able to pull this upset off.
Well, Rasul Diggins, last year's most improved player of the year in the conference, got off to a bit of a slow start this year. He had the incredible game to start things off against New Hampshire, but after that, he went into a brutal shooting funk. I think it was something like 5 of 55 from 3 after the UNH game. But in these last few games, he's really started to break out of that, starting with the Arizona State game down at the Mass Mutual Center, where he had 24 and then followed that up in Philly, where Philly Rasul came out to play, had 33 and 16 against Richmond and 18 here to get today against Dayton. So once the clock started turning towards conference play is when Rasul Diggins really started to turn it on. He really needed that game down in Philly. Seems like every time he goes down to Philadelphia to play, whether it's against St. Joe's or LaSalle, whoever it is, Rasul Diggins loves playing in his hometown.
Little home cooking, always good for everybody. He's a Philly kid. And as a Boston guy, it's a little tough, but you know what? He's helping UMass out here, so definitely love to see it.
Well, this timeout, they have it on the box score is a 30-second timeout, but it certainly has been much longer than that. As Dayton breaks the huddle, their 5 is Javon Bennett, Nate Santos, Malachi Smith, Enoch Cheeks, and Zed Key. And UMass taking their sweet time, taking every second they can of this timeout.
And a big key for UMass here, Javon Bennett with 4 fouls. If they can get a switch onto him and just kind of go after him, that could be big. He can't really foul forward to foul right now. That could be something for UMass. For UMass to kind of just attack that. See, with Posh Alexander, I think out of the game now, he can't come back in if he didn't take his free throws. You can make Dayton kind of get thin at guard real quick. So you can I would attack Bennett right now. That would be my strategy. See if you can get him to foul out and really make life difficult on Dayton here at the home stretch.
Like we previously mentioned, Dayton going with their starting 5 right now. UMass is 5 on the floor with 2:36 left as Diggins, Worthy, Jaden Jingay, Daniel Rivera, and Daniel Hankins-Sanford. Rasul Diggins will be the inbounder from the baseline. Javon Bennett covering the inbounder, but not facing Diggins, facing towards the floor as Diggins' inbound comes into Hankins-Sanford. Over to Worthy. And Worthy's pass is stolen away by Nate Santos, looking for the entry to Rivera. A nice play by Santos to come away with the steal. Zed Key hands off to Javon Bennett. Bennett driving right at Diggins and draws a foul on Rasul Diggins. So Javon Bennett will go to the line for 2 free throws and a chance to get quick points as Diggins picks up his 3rd.
This is a proud Dayton program right here. They're not just going to go away. UMass, they're going to have to finish the game here.
Got a great coaching battle today between Frank Martin and Anthony Grant. Faced each other several times in their years. Dayton and UMass, of course, a lot of history in the A-10. As Javon Bennett's first free throw rims around and rims in to make it a 4-point game.
Both coaches have made the NCAA tournament at 2 other schools. Frank Martin at Kansas State and South Carolina, Grant at VCU and Alabama.
Bennett's second free throw knocks them both down. So Javon Bennett up to 14 points now. Perfect from the line, 4 for 4. Has been big for Dayton so far tonight with his 4 fouls. Diggins' inbound comes into Hankins-Sanford against the Dayton press. 2:20 left to play. UMass up by 3, 70-67. Rasul Diggins has it right at about the half-court mark. Diggins into Hankins-Sanford, who bluffed the screen. Kicks it to the corner. Jaden Jingay wide open for 3. Air balls, but Daniel Rivera comes away with the offensive rebound.
No shot clock reset. Got to go.
Daniel Rivera with 5 on the clock, driving right at Zed Key. Can't convert the layup. Had a good look at it, but no good. Dayton looking to go quick. Malachi Smith to a wide open Javon Bennett for 3. He ties the game. Javon Bennett wide open in the corner with a big-time shot to tie it at 70, and Daniel Rivera will dribble right over to the sideline, and Frank Martin will call a 30-second timeout here.
Brutal sequence there for the Minutemen. Rivera, a point-blank layup. He can't finish. And then Bennett makes him severely pay on the other end.
Yeah, Rivera and Jingay trying to grab the offensive rebound off of Rivera's own miss. Both stumbled, which led Dayton to want to move fast with it. And it led to the open Bennett 3. So tied at 70, 1:40 left. It's been an exciting game the entire way. I don't believe the lead was once Dayton with a 10-point lead at 22-12 early on in the game. UMass clawed their way back as not something they've done too well is play from that far behind early in games. But today, showing the fight and the will. They might be 5-10, and they might be 0-2 to start off conference play, but this is by no means a bad basketball team. They will always bring in the effort and make you earn your win.
Definitely. I think a lot of games here, you look at some of their losses, other than the Florida State game, they have been competitive in a lot of these games. But now we're right here at the end. We're saying, can they finish this game out? Like we just saw them miss a point-blank layup there, turnover on the position before, when they have an opportunity to really just take the heart out of Dayton. Can they finish here? You got everything's in front of you right here. Just got to execute.
They've got 1:40 to try and survive this battle against a possible tournament team. No doubt that if Dayton does lose this game, that would severely hurt their tournament chances. UMass has slotted it in as a quad 3 game to play on the road. If you're unfamiliar with what the quads are, it's a system used to rank teams based on how good they are in a certain environment they're in, the home and away games. There's quad 1, which is the best of them, all the way up to quad 4, and UMass right now would qualify as a quad 3 loss, which would be ugly on Dayton's tournament resume. But UMass would have to win first in that case. Inbound comes in. Markey Worthy's got it. Over to Rasul Diggins, open on the left wing for three over Zed Key, no good. Daniel Rivera on the follow, can't finish, but gets his own miss once again. Another point-blank look, couldn't take advantage, but he's got the mismatch on the smaller Javon Bennett. Goes right at him, spins around, and puts in the layup. UMass up by 2.
That's strategy for UMass. Attack Bennett. He has 4 fouls. You can't afford to pick him another one. You're either going to get a foul him out, or you get an easy layup.
Daniel Rivera with a double-double now, 19 points and 10 rebounds. Dayton has got it. Javon Bennett with a floater in the lane, no good. Rebound fought for, and Jaden Jingay called for a foul over the back. Going against Malachi Smith, so Jingay picks up his 4th personal, and Malachi Smith will head to the line with a chance to tie the game.
Good hustle there from UMass, but just getting a loose ball and get free throws here.
1:05 left. Malachi Smith going to the line. He's still scoreless today. He's 0 for 5 from the floor. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 turnovers. He comes into today averaging 11.5 points a game. His first free throw, no good. And the struggle for Malachi Smith today continues in his 26 minutes, still scoreless.
Definitely, right now on the stretch, Dayton's got a lot more to lose than UMass. They're going to be feeling the pressure here. UMass got to take advantage of that.
Smith's second free throw is up, and it's in. So 1-point game, 72-71. UMass will inbound. Rasul Diggins, the inbounder.
Going to have to break this press.
Diggins' inbound comes into Worthy, frees himself up. And Dayton will back off a little bit on their pressure. Now just south of a minute here left to play. Rasul Diggins has it, being hounded by Javon Bennett with the 4 fouls.
UMass could potentially get a 2 for 1 here if they execute this correctly.
Marquis Worthy's got it with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, 45 on the game clock. Worthy draws the double team, kicks it over to Rivera. 5 on the clock. Rivera to Jingay in the corner. Could have had the open 3, but decided not to take it. Worthy with 2 on the clock. They got to put the shot up. Worthy's hook is good. Marquis Worthy with a big-time shot to put UMass up by 3 with 33 seconds left and forces a timeout by Anthony Grant.
Marquis Worthy, what else can you say? A career day for him. He's made so many huge shots for UMass today. End of the shot clock. Things aren't really going well in the possession. He's been huge for UMass today in a moment where they needed him to be.
Marquis Worthy, 18 points there, and it looked like he might not have been able to get the shot off, but with less than a second left on the shot clock, throws up a little hook shot from the 810 logo in the paint and puts it in. A huge shot for UMass with a 3-point lead now, 74-71. If you're John, we're going to put you in the shoes of Anthony Grant here. Who are you going to go to, and what would you do to try and get the ball there? Would you go for the 3 or would you go for the quick 2?
I think you have a lot of time. There's 34.3 seconds left. UMass isn't exactly, they've been doing great today, but they're not a great free throw shooting team. I would definitely try and get a quick bucket, see if you can get a quick 2, see if you can get a steal, and if you get a steal, if not, you just foul and make UMass team. It's not a great at shooting free throws, hit some free throws.
Both teams with the same lineups they had out there from before. Dayton's got their starting 5. UMass with Diggins, Worthy, Jingay, Rivera, and Hankins Sanford out there. Worthy has given UMass huge minutes today in place of Jalen Curry, who we've not seen too much of today. Picked up the 2 early fouls, got out of the rhythm of the game, and hasn't seen much play time since. The inbound comes to Malachi Smith. He's guarded full court by Marquis Worthy, and Bennett sets a screen to switch Diggins onto him. Smith working to his right. Kicks it up top for Nate Santos. 20 seconds left in the game. Santos working to his right, and Daniel Hankins Sanford tries to reach for the steal and picks up his 5th personal foul. So Daniel Hankins Sanford will sit for the final 18 seconds of regulation, and Nate Santos will head to the line to shoot 2.
Tough call there, but honestly, usually you're going to see the star players get calls like that, and that's when you got enough for Hankins Sanford. But UMass, they got a few options here. I mean, to replace them. We'll see. They got a lot of the bigs are in foul trouble. That's a problem.
So UMass
Abdelgawad
will go to Malik Abdelgawad to fill in for Daniel Hankins Sanford. The athletic center does have the capability to go up there and grab some rebounds, and he is a good free throw shooter as well. So Daniel Hankins Sanford will check out of the game scoreless, but 4 rebounds, and had some big defensive stops late in this game. Santos, his first free throw is good. So the lead back down to 2. 18 seconds left. The possession arrow is in the favor of UMass in case there is a jump ball.
Definitely got to expect pressure out of Dayton here. Make or miss. You have to have something ready for that.
But Dayton will foul at some point in this possession if they aren't able to force a turnover. And UMass is still in the 1-and-1 range. As the second free throw is no good, Daniel Rivera grabs the rebound. He's getting attacked by Dayton defenders, and Nate Santos just shoves Daniel Rivera to the floor. I'd be shocked if they don't go to the scores table to review this for flagrant intent. Nate Santos, full arm extended, just shoves Daniel Rivera to the floor. And Rivera will head to the free throw line, where he is 5 of 6 today, 55% coming into today, so not who you want at the line if you're UMass.
I think at this point, I think that sums up the strategy for Dayton. They're going to go for it too, make someone who's not a good finisher shoot. And they are going to go to the table.
It took a while for the refs to decide, but the crowd clamoring and the UMass players clamoring for the refs to go to the scores table to review for flagrant intent.
But twofold here. It's only a 1-and-1. It's the best thing to make Rivera think about it now. Instead, with the adrenaline, he could just go out there and shot up, and now he's going to be in that huddle right now thinking, these are really important. If we don't make this, we might lose the game. So this is big here. In this huddle, you got to plan for a few things. You got to plan if he misses, his Dayton might just go. If he makes it, how do you want to play that possession? So a lot to talk about here for Frank Martin.
Well, there's 14.1 seconds left. In my mind, there's no doubt that was a flagrant. They're showing the review on the board now. Rivera actually had the ball out of his hands by the time Nate Santos just fully pushed him to the floor. But the refs come out of the scores table and say it's just a common foul against Santos.
I think that's one of those. Maybe if it was earlier in the game, they might have given him a flagrant. I think it's human nature. You don't want to be the one to decide the game and call a flagrant here. So
Santos picks up his 4th foul. UMass up by 2 as Rivera heads to the line. He could maybe not seal the game away, but put UMass in a pretty comfortable position if he's able to knock down both of them. But first, he's got to worry about knocking down the first one. It's just a 1-and-1, the final 1-and-1 of the game for UMass. Rivera's first is good.
Huge. UMass is starting to make some of those plays that they haven't made all year, those big-time shots. They made it here, and this is the one that will make it a 2-score game. You really need to get, and I think Grant's going to try and ice him.
And Javon Bennett turns to the ref and calls the timeout himself to ice Daniel Rivera. So UMass up by 3, 14 seconds left. Daniel Rivera, 22 points on the game. 8 of 13 from the floor, 6 of 7 from the line. He's got 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks in 36 minutes today. And one of the few players in this game that hasn't found themselves in foul trouble. He's just got 1 foul. It's been a clean game for Rivera and an excellent game all around by him.
Definitely has been. I mean, Rivera, he scored 23 against St. Joe's. He's been really productive lately for this UMass team and really all season. So this is the one. If they hit this here, you got to say, I think you got to be talking through everything here. If he misses, plan the defense. If he makes it, you got to be saying, I think either way, no threes.
Well, if he misses, would you foul? Would you get to that point? There's still 14 seconds left as of right now, but given the type of possession it could be, there is a possibility that UMass chooses to foul instead of let Dayton get the 3 off.
I think I would. You're a good rebounding team. Dayton's missed a few free throws in this game, so I think it's worth trying to foul.
Rivera's second free throw is up, and a clutch free throw by Daniel Rivera to put UMass up by 4. And a timeout called by UMass. They had 2 timeouts. They will use one of them here to talk defense. So up by 4, 14.1 left. Daniel Rivera, 2 clutch free throws. UMass now 19 of 20 from the free throw line today, 95%. Unprecedented territory for UMass. This has been their Achilles heel ever since Frank Martin took over as the head coach, has been closing games with free throw shooting. And now, John, I got to propose to you, 4-point game with 14 seconds left. If you're Dayton, 2-pointer, 3-pointer, what's your mindset here?
I think if you're Dayton, I think you got to go. You got to go for. If you can get a good look at a 3, go for it. If not, you still have time to go for 2. And I mean, I know they're shooting amazing in this game, but this is a bottom 30 team in the country in terms of shooting. But I think if you're Dayton here, look for a 3. If it's not there, you go for a 2. You don't want to spend too much time either because you're going to have to come back down again.
Crowd making as much noise as they can. UMass sending out Rasul, Worthy, Rivera, Gigian, and Abdelgawad, and for Dayton, it's the 5 starters. They're going quickly up the floor.
Don't foul here.
With Smith. Smith will huck up a 3 off the glass, no good. Abdelgawad, the rebound, kicks it over to Diggins, and that will do it. They don't look like they're going to foul. So those free throws from Rivera end up being the dagger for UMass, and they pull off the upset. The UMass Minutemen hold off the Dayton Flyers, a team with tournament aspirations, and they take this one 76-72 here at the Mullen Center.
amazing game from UMass. I mean, those little 19 and 20 from the line, they just made every big shot. When they needed a big play in this game, they made it. And that's just huge for UMass. This is a huge win for the program, really, against a team that has NCAA tournament aspirations.
And a much-needed win for the Minutemen. They pick it up to move to 6-10 on the season, 1-2 in conference play. Their next game, they will go on the road to George Mason. As for Dayton, following back-to-back road losses, their only 2 road games of the season, they drop in both of them. Their next game will also be against George Mason, but not until next Wednesday, January 15th, whereas UMass will be playing George Mason on Saturday, January 11th. But that'll be it for our broadcast here, live from the Mullen Center. I've been Andrew Samaha. That's John Gigian. UMass pulling off a great upset against the Dayton Flyers here on 91.1 WMUA, the home fort for Minutemen sports.